Phil broke my fucking gate, so here we go.
You know what? First of all, fuck Preston's gate. That thing's a piece of shit.
You don't got to shout on the mic.
You know what? I don't give a fuck, Preston. You're not handling the levels.
I am the levels. I am the game designer. I'm the dungeon master.
Preston, you're blown out.
You just play the levels.
Don't even start with this, dude, because you sound like ass right now. You sound like fucking COVID-20.
I sound great.
COVID 2022. All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Rejuvelation. We have our previous episode's guests here, the great Phill Benson. We have Preston Flatley and Alexx
Nobody's great.
Mouzouris.
It's
It's okay.
Yeah.
You tried. You want to mess it up.
No, I
I'm
let
not going to
you.
say nothing. It's okay. You're not
I'll
the first. You won't be the last.
You're saying a lot.
It's been happening all my life.
I wasn't the first because I actually listened to what you said first before I even tried to pronounce it. So, it's open discussion. Anything's game. Phil, I'd love to talk about your shirt first. It says Obama Llama Ding Dong, and it's got Obama, the Dalai Lama, and then Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, this was a gift. So I think it was good old days? Was it, last year?
No.
The year before, 2 years?
2 years ago, yeah.
Something along those lines.
I bought you that sticker that hangs up in the shop, and everybody's like, fuck yeah, fuck Trump.
So it's one of those things where it's like, you ever watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I love that show.
Okay, so there's this one episode, I think, what is it, Mac? And he says, look, I can never lose because I'm playing both sides. So that's one of my favorite things to do is like, okay, I'm going to have all this like potentially pro-Trump content, but also fuck Trump content. And so everybody gets something they like, regardless. It doesn't really matter. So like Preston found this shirt at Good Old Days.
Yep.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious. He thought it was hilarious. And he ended up getting me the shirt.
Yeah. I thought it was hilarious first. I'm like, he needs that shirt. Phil has to have that shirt. And then I was like, there's also a sticker which had a middle finger on it and the emblem. And then in the middle it just said Trump. And I'm like, hey, can you throw the sticker in there for free? And the guy said no. So I was like, all right, here's an extra $1. Give me both. He's like, hold on, wait, sales tax. I'm like, you're not paying sales tax. He goes, all right.
So for those of you who don't know, the Good Old Days is, what is it really? It's like just a good old boys time event that happens in Pacific Grove, California every year where they sell a bunch of stuff and there's no real cultural significance. It's just like
it's just a street fair.
It's just a street fair.
It seems to be very difficult to pick out the good old days part of the good old days.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's a good time.
It's a good old days. We can't have mustache competitions. We can't have arm wrestling competitions. And it's like, what are the good old days about?
I mean, just to speak on that, like, allegedly, I've seen some old photos of people that, I guess they used to dress up in, like, the old school Methodist garb, and, like, it used to be, like...
That'd be tits.
Ladies, and with parasols and whatnot,
That'd be great.
So I've seen photos of that, but I'm a new dude in town, so I never saw that. I always just saw food.
Well, let's bring that back.
Vendors.
Let's just say good old days best attire competition. We can't do mustaches. We can't do arm wrestling.
Well, I mean, technically we can, right? But it's just like, I mean, the whole good old days thing is like done. So like, I mean, I guess we technically could have a mustache competition, like a virtual one.
That would suck.
I mean, again, that's why we don't probably do it.
Plus, it happened in April this year, so we really can't have a virtual competition 3 months late.
I mean, we could. They had a virtual
Talking
bar
about it
festival.
for next year. I guess we're talking about cancel culture because we keep talking about, we can't do this, we can't do that, and all these restrictions on the things that used to be and what is okay, and with Black Lives Matter going and all the racism and everything else hitting at us from all sides. Like, you can't talk about anything. You can't do these things. What's okay? Who in history belongs to what faction? How many slaves did they own? What's going on here? Yeah, they freed slaves, but actually they had slaves, so they need to die. And then, it's like, so where are we really at with it? Like, if there was a good old days next year, and they told us we couldn't do it, would there be riots? Would there be people really saying, oh, we should really stop them. We should really say, no, we're going to do it anyways. Fuck you. We're America. We got the guns.
I think
as Alexx likes to say. We got the guns. We're going to have good old days. We'll all be packing.
Well, as Alexx
We're all going to have the parasols and the AKs.
Alexx said once, as Alexx said.
Many times.
Catchphrase.
Many times.
Alexx said once on a recording that once.
Alexx, we got all the guns.
I think Preston's more of the Second Amendment voice in.
I don't own any guns.
Huh?
I don't own any guns. I'm broke.
Well, yeah, man.
So we know how many traitors are in the room.
What if this whole thing of cancel culture? I was thinking about this the other day. If you cancel culture, people are speaking out about things that piss them off, things that upset them, and they want their voice to be heard. So our voice is loud enough. People want their voice and their opinion to be heard. A lot of it is tend to be circled around particular large topics that have been neglected by the media or neglected just in social circles or conversations, racism, politics, whatever. It's obviously always been themes since time immemorial, but they've been neglected in the media of late, since terrorism started, I guess, in air quotes. That's dragged out for a while.
Like 9/11 since.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole yet. I want to go down that rabbit hole.
Already down there.
No, hang on, because if we keep spiraling and you miss the initial point, you got to take subject by subject.
Alice is already eating the snacks. We're already down this rabbit hole. She's big or small, we don't know. That's what we're trying to find out.
Everyone's got an idea and everyone's got an opinion at the moment. Everyone wants to be heard and what if what we're actually witnessing is really the sort of, okay, you want freedom of speech? Fine, have it. But it's just redirected in a bit more of a negative way when it could be more positive. Freedom of speech, that's what everybody wants. Everyone wants to have their own voice, their own opinion. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. And there's always two sides. It's either you create or destroy, right?
I think what we're realistically in here is we're realistically in the first time frame where people can realistically freely express themselves. Because for centuries and decades, especially in a lot of countries, is you can't talk about what you want to talk about. You can't express your feelings. You can't just say, hey, bro, I don't like that. We need to talk about it. Because even 10 years ago, I don't know about London or whatever, especially in this country, is if somebody was mad and like, I'm not really happy about that, somebody just go, oh, what, you're a fucking pussy? And that would just be the general consensus of everybody. And if you had to go talk about it, you have to go see a therapist in secret.
No, but I don't think that's everybody. That's just you. That's your circle.
No, I think it's the overwhelming masses. And now when you talk about mental health and you talk about therapy and you talk about all this stuff, it's very well encouraged because I think everybody honestly needs several people they can talk to get a consensus of opinions based on how they can feel. And if you just never talk about anything, you just bottle everything up inside until you explode horribly. And I've done it many times. It's not a good way to exist. And what we're realistically talking about is the acceptance of individuals in mass freely expressing themselves and not really being worried about the repercussions of, hey, I'm dealing with a lot of shit. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, I need some fucking help. I need somebody to talk to.
When you say we are accepting that who's the we?
I think it's just in mass.
We are accepting that people are allowed to speak their mind now.
It's within a couple generations. Because when you look at World War II, he came back from combat. He's just shell-shocked. His brain hasn't set right because of the explosions in the brain. No, that's full PTSD.
Right.
And there's different levels of PTSD. But back in World War II, it was just shell-shock. And then they're like, all right, let's put a fucking hole in your skull and just call it a day, put you somewhere if you really can't recover from it. And now it's like, okay, there's PTSD. We have treatments. We have therapy. We have this. We have that. And, it goes back to just a lot of different things where, shit, even 20 years ago, PTSD, assortment in the military was just like, all right, that's part of being in the military. Just get over it. And now it's becoming a much bigger issue because we have so many different vets that come from veteran families, just in my personal humble experience, that they try to talk about it and they can't get the help that they need. Right? Because warfare today is not like warfare from 70 years ago. Okay, I wear this uniform, I'm from this country, that's my enemy. I can very clearly see that is my enemy. There's the border, there's the line, there's this, there's that, there's spies and everything. But now it's just like, we go to war as a country, who are we fighting against and why? There's no who or why or location or borders, there's nothing. It's just pure, absolute, 100% chaos of just destruction. And even within this country itself, if somebody is going through a lot of things and they don't have somebody to talk to, they don't have somebody to relate to, and they just get told, oh, just shut up and deal with it, well, that's not going to create a better person. If they had even an hour or 2 hours to just address the issue and work on the issue, as opposed to just being slapped and tell them to get over it and go on.
So that's what you think's happening with the cancel culture?
Well, not necessarily the cancel culture. It's just the paradigm shift of individuals freely expressing themselves to be a level of vulnerable, or having a level of vulnerability that is really not heard of before. Just being completely open and vulnerable, especially you have a lot of these people with blogs, internet and YouTube channels, Instagram. They're 100% vulnerable to the mass public, to anybody in the world at a moment's notice. And they can get 1,000 comments, 1,000 messages within a couple minutes. If they post something really out there, good or bad, they could just say, hey, you know, I was dealing with this. I had this eating disorder. I had this habit. I had this problem. I had this. I had that. I believe in this way. And you can get 10,000 good messages. But then if you're that person that's still dealing with it, not fully over it, and you get 1,000 messages, people saying, fuck you, kill yourself, do this, do that, they're not going to focus on the 10,000 or 100,000 good messages. They're going to focus on the 1,000, 100, or even 10 bad messages.
I agree with what you're saying, but you also are then putting they into a box of they, like it's one group. What you're
No, they as in masses. There's no one group.
No, all right, but you said they, so I'm just taking that as a they.
Individuals that put themselves out there are very vulnerable.
But wait, I'm just going to pick it apart what you said, because you're saying like tens of thousands of messages. These people that are vulnerable, are you going with anybody on the internet, or are you just that question, are you focusing on these quote-unquote influencers? Is that what you think?
Well, no, I mean, just people as a whole, right? Because it's not necessarily...
One second, because the people that you'll find that you'll have a large scale of lots and lots of positive and loads of negative are people that don't have many followers and aren't trying to be out there. If you have someone that has like fucking 600 followers and you put something out there, you've got a small circle, and what you'll find is that no one's really going to tell you that you'll be mean or tell you anything that's going to put you down in such a small circle, mate. Pretty much. If you're looking at the massive scale of thousands of millions of awesome positive messages, and then like a couple hundred people say fuck you, kill yourself, da, 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 da. Those people that are telling you fucking kill yourself and being negative, that's their own insecurities, and they're just using that as a place to push it. But those people who have that amount of followers and that amount of voices and that amount of reach, they don't give a shit. Because that amount
of they do.
No, I don't think they do. Because they want more and more followers, and that problem builds and builds and builds and increases. Right?
Well,
hang on. One second.
This is getting away from the original topic.
But hang on one second. We're going. But the real thing that happens once you get bigger like that is you start making a shitload of money on Instagram, and those voices get very, 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 very quiet when their voices, and the more people, good or bad, who talk, you get paid. So as that increases, as the voice increases, the loud, the good, the bad, fuck it, let them talk. The more they talk, the more fucking money they make from sponsors and this. Fuck them, let them eat cake. That's when you get to. I don't think it affects the influencing people, the people that have the sort of field or sphere to have that many voices at them. They don't give a shit.
Look,
if it's someone small town that has 400 followers and someone says something shitty and makes them feel bad, well, they're just mean. They're a mean person. And there's mean people everywhere. That's just bullying. Yeah. Bullying's been happening. It's been happening. It's just cyberbullying.
I mean, there's mean people everywhere. You know, we look at it in sports. It's like you can literally sit there and win. I mean, how many Super Bowls Tom Brady won? 6?
I think,
right?
Yeah.
6. More than anyone else. And his stats, his career, his lifetime, his longevity in the sport has outmatched literally everybody in existence. I mean, you can't compare him to another sport because no other sport has had a Tom Brady. He's incomparable, and there's still millions of people that fucking hate him.
Are we including the Olympics?
Realistically.
Are we including the Olympics in sport?
And we had Michael Phelps.
I hear what you're saying. I definitely hear what you're saying.
Michael Phelps,
but I mean,
Usain Bolt, who's won everything and all of it.
Yeah, but I mean, for 18 years, does he have 18 gold medals? I don't know. But I mean, it goes back to the original topic that we're finally living in a society or a system or whatever you want to call it that can fully accept individuals with problems, very real problems that they need to address. And it's finally coming down to points like, well, you lived through this, why can't you live through a little bit of that? It's like, no, like, just because I did it doesn't mean I want to keep doing it for eternity. I mean, isn't that the definition of hell?
I don't know how we got started on this topic. I mean,
I don't know.
I was
just being a brief.
yeah, you guys went off on a good one there, a good one.
By the way, between August 2008 and August 2016, Usain Bolt won 20 Olympic gold medals. Just saying.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
But has he won any?
Is he the Tom Brady? There is
okay,
people.
First of all,
he's not Tom Brady. He is the Adonis, the greatest of all time.
How many Super Bowls
other
did
awesome people.
he win? That's what I want to know. How many Super Bowls did Usain Bolt win? None. So he sucks. Fuck Usain Bolt.
That's the out of nowhere hot top. You know what,
That's a hot take.
dude?
But I love football.
I'm on team.
because I'm
Usain Bolt
American.
on that one, dude.
Team
The minute
Usain
I heard that,
Bolt,
I
he's
don't know,
a
dude.
bad man.
Oh, we got Joey over here at the computer. We got YouTube
No,
clips
I'm
coming
gonna
up.
I'm gonna be the Jamie, bro, because it's gonna come
Oh,
up.
Jamie, Joey, whatever. I got it right.
I don't know, dude.
So, Danny, what do you want to talk about?
I mean, I can't get over this whole Usain Bolt thing, dude. I mean, this guy's
Are you okay
he's
with
up
the
there.
internet?
He's
Part
way
of
up
the conversation.
It's fine, yeah. It's good to have somebody fact checking.
I'm cool. I'm
Not
down
that
to
you
do
can
that.
trust anything that you find online.
No, but you can certainly.
Damn it, Google.
Certainly go to a place
Yes.
with it.
We can go to Google.
Yeah, that's the place.
Well, okay. So I'm flying to Germany in 4 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And
That's
Badass.
news.
and I'm pretty apprehensive about it. I don't want to go. I don't want to wear a mask for fucking 18 hours
Yeah.
straight. You know, like
Sucks.
that's gonna fucking suck dick. And I don't agree with masks at all. I'm totally against it. If you decide you want to wear a mask, that's fine. But the whole thing to me just screams of fucking just control and taking people into a place where, you know, like you look at what the airport shows you and there's a grid and it says, has a little display and it says, you will stand here, 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 here. Everyone will stand here. It's like pre-thought out. You will not deviate from the plan. And if you do, you will be shamed, you will be shunned. And this is why I brought up the good old days and everything like that, because everything that we used to know, everything that was cultural norms, not to say that those norms were a good thing, are now disappearing. They're being erased and rewritten in very short order, in very quick, terrifying, traumatic ways. There's so many, like Phil, you said in the last episode, you walked out in the street and somebody just like, you know, you can hear the gasp in their voice, like when they see you don't have a mask, or it's just like, oh, you know, it's like you scare somebody out of the dark, you put your hand on their shoulder and like, ah! You know, like they literally panic. And it's like
Is she old and vulnerable?
the fear. It doesn't matter who they are. You could see
anybody.
You could see an Adonis walk in the street, and he's wearing a mask, and you know he's just like, ah,
Yeah.
you know, it's like grab it for his chest, his pecs, his
juicy pec?
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
Oil.
The
Those are
fear is
juicy
real. It
pecs.
doesn't matter who you are. You know, old women get a bad rap. The fear is instilled in us all now.
It's everywhere.
I don't think the fear is instilled in us all.
It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
100% everywhere.
Yeah. Fear.
Fear as a topic, fear in general.
Fear
Fear
in
of
general.
whatever. Fear of whatever.
Fear of whatever.
Fear
You
of full
pick-
stop.
I mean, even
If
something
you
that
took-
makes sense.
Fear.fear.com.
If you
Fearbrandfear.com.
If you
Yeah.
took any person today, even if it's the most hardcore
Fear brand
motherfucker
fear
you
dot
know,
fear.
and you then took somebody from the 1930s, anybody from there, just a random sample, what would their fear levels be? Or like, you know what I mean?
Well, fear really sells because if you look at it, the United States, and I'll bring this up, is that it's the only country that allows advertisements for drugs. Not necessarily marijuana, but, you know, all the prescription drugs, all the pharmaceutical drugs. Like, do you have restless leg syndrome? Can you not sleep at night because your legs are moving? It's like, yeah, because I'm fucking sleeping. I don't know what my legs are doing. And then it's like, you need this drug. Other complications
Side effects may include legs moving.
explosive diarrhea, legs moving even
Legs
more,
still moving.
restless nights, suicidal thoughts, dependency, anal leakage. Like, who want? I would rather sleep okay
Just
than have
to get
anal
cancer.
leakage. I don't wanna-
Sleepwalking and your feet murdering
I
everybody
just
in
don't
the
want to
city.
walk down the street and be like, why is my boot wet? Like, oh, that's just my anal seepage. That's terrible. That'd be way worse than having a shitty night's sleep.
You may transform into a
Have you
small
tried
bat
buying, I don't know, a
take over
better
a
bed?
town.
Have you tried doing laundry? Maybe
No.
a better blanket? No, you need to take restless leg syndrome drugs and have fucking anal seepage.
Symptoms of Jekyll
And
and Hyde
it,
syndrome.
yeah,
which
it's
is,
it's all fear based. And it's like, oh, are you slightly sad? It's like, have you, you know, like you said, have you tried working out? Have you tried drinking water? Have you tried surrounding yourself with the better people? Have you tried, like, I don't know, not doing drugs for a little bit? Like, you know, all these things that you can actively do. It's like, no, I need Prozac. And then it comes out 10 years later, it's like, did you take Prozac? Did a loved one of yours take Prozac and now they have brain cancer and are going to imminently die because 100% of people that took this drug are going to die? It's like, no, it's like, it's the same thing. It's like, do you have weeds in your garden? Yeah, it's a garden. Every garden has weeds. Well, instead of going down there and picking them out and doing gardening, let's just spray them with Roundup. And then we find out Roundup's bad for you. It's like, no shit.
Yeah. Zach Bush, I'd really like to plug him right now. He's doing restorative agriculture, organic agriculture, and he's doing a bunch of tests, and he has been doing a lot of tests on Roundup. The primary component of it is glyphosate. And he said that...
It's banned.
He said that it's not banned now, but they're trying to ban it in many states, and Mexico's trying to ban it completely. But he said that by glyphosate alone, the U.S. population will be completely infertile by 2050, and the whole global population by 2070.
glyphosate is just an advent of Agent Orange.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we ensure nothing ever grows in the soil ever again? It's like, all right, well, it's exposed to radiation, or we can do the Agent Orange, which that works. And then glyphosate is just a off-brand. It's like we have methamphetamine, and then we have Adderall. Methamphetamine's bad, but you can give Adderall to kids.
It's Adderall. It's meth light.
Yeah, it's meth light.
That's what it is.
I like that.
Meth light.
So this is the situation. We're in a situation where we're poisoning the whole planet so that we can make genetically modified crops, and which don't even really work. They say they do year after year, but the farmers aren't doing better over and over again. They're just in bed with the big ag, big pharma companies. And so we're basically in a situation where the whole human race will be extinct by 2070. And then we're worrying about coronavirus, which literally kills like 0.05% of the population, maybe. And we're like shutting down the whole planet for that. Yet we're not shutting down the whole planet for something that's going to guarantee to kill us all of us, by this certain date. And that's just one poison in the system. And that's if you believe Zach Bush's measurements or whatever. But even if just think about it for a second. If that's true, what the fuck are we talking about with coronavirus and all this stupid shit when we're guaranteed to all be doomed in 50 years? So that's my big plight right now with people's where their headspaces are at. And when you guys talk about sports and all this shit, I'm just like,
I love
wow,
Tom Brady.
gladiator syndrome. Like, yeah, let's just fuck. Yeah, dude, the game is all that matters. And it's like, I'm like trying to save the human race, and my mind's in a whole different headspace. And when people are talking about shit that I don't care about, and I know it's just like inane, pointless drivel, man, it's just like just standing in a room watching people butcher each other and having a good time, and you're just like, whoa, dude, whoa.
Well, I mean, you're going to die 100% of the time.
As Alex said last time.
Who said?
And, we're here for a good time, not a long time.
My best friend on earth, Scott Schuder, said that's his fucking saying. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. That is his, that's right. That's going to be written on his fucking...
That's his mantra.
Yeah. No, it's going to...
But if we also look at it...
That's going to be on his fucking tombstone.
If we also look at society as a whole, what's the quote? People don't think it be like it is, but it do.
That was fantastic. Say that again?
Yeah, people don't think it be like it is, but it do. You can spend your whole life believing something isn't like what it is, but at the end of the day, it do what it is. And you can imagine as much as you want, it is what it... You don't want to believe it is what it is. And you might start to understand, maybe it is what it is. Then you're just like, nah, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. No matter how much belief...
Many layers of acceptance.
Yeah. No matter how much belief, I don't believe lava's hot. I think lava is a crux of the NASA conspiracy to demean the flat Earth. And then I go stick my fucking hand in lava, and I don't have a hand anymore. It's like, oh, fuck, that's actually lava. It hurts because I don't have a hand. It's like, at the end of the day, lava's still hot.
Why don't we put all the trash from the world
in lava
into volcanoes?
Well, I mean, it's going to angry the tiki gods.
But think about it.
If
there was a volcano,
well, they tried it.
An open hole in the
atmosphere.
They tried
it.
It's already there.
They tried it.
I mean, they do burn trash, and what happens?
Wouldn't that release massive amounts of toxic chemicals
waste
into the air?
Yeah, that's exactly. It's just burning.
You have more sulfur, and the biggest thing they found is one day, literally, they have the video of somebody just dumping a straight up whole dump truck of garbage in there, just like somebody's on an island. We found a volcano. It's like, fuck it, let's just dump trash in there and find out what happened. It ended up creating a chain reaction of gases and violent explosions that they had to vacate the entire volcano immediately. And then the island doubled in size.
Do you know why? Because a volcano is not a fucking... It's not the pit of the bottomless pit. It's the fucking portal to the planet, and it's the everything.
Phil, it's like this.
The world says, get fucked, why are you putting toxic waste in me?
You ever want to get rid of a hornet's nest?
Yeah. Fuck that.
You ever want to get rid of a hornet's nest? Should you treat it and do all the things properly, or should you just go out there with a fucking bat and hit it?
Exactly. And that's what this
You don't want to hit a hornet's nest with
It's
a
like
bat,
all the... And we
ever.
were talking about pharmaceuticals. It's the perfect example.
Fire to them.
It's like there's all these health problems.
Still, you don't want to do that either.
I went to a wasp's nest outside a pub in the UK when I was younger. I set fire to it.
So anyways, Danny, you're saying?
There's all these health problems based on the way we live, and the way we don't live. Like, we don't go out and get enough exercise. We don't drink enough water. We don't eat good enough foods. We do things that are repeatedly bad for us, and it brings us down. And we don't talk about our emotions like Preston was talking about. We let things build up inside of us emotionally and in our minds, and they create all these toxicities, these mental viruses, these soul viruses, these body viruses. And then eventually it destroys us. But the system is rigged to say, we will treat the symptoms, not the cause. And so when you're saying, why don't we just put everything inside the volcano? I think that's just like the same thing. We're going to all the problems in the world? No, we're going to let that keep happening. Let's just throw it in a volcano. And then we can keep doing the things that, we keep creating all that trash. Why don't we just create a system where we don't create all this trash? It's all redoable.
Even if we didn't create any more trash, we still have all the trash we have now.
True.
But we can get rid of it.
It's easier to destroy than create, isn't it?
No.
Yes, it is. It's far easier to just take the problem and try to put it in a volcano. Shut the fuck up, step out of the road.
Maybe not, because the things that you create have more complexity. And when they're destroyed, they create more chaos.
It's definitely hard to create. Far harder.
Far harder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's easier to destroy.
It's quicker. It's much quicker.
To create. You got to work and build something that works, and you stand upon your accomplishment. You're a guitarist. Don't shake your fucking head at me. It's you fucking worked your ass off all your life to figure out how to play guitar. It's very easy to plug it. They're gonna fucking fuck you with you now. You're gonna hate this. It's very easy to go on Guitar Hero on fucking PlayStation and click, click, click and play along and feel like you're playing guitar.
I couldn't do it.
Right, but the kids
I tried it one time,
that's why do you think kids are fucking learning
you.
instruments? Because I can play it on PlayStation. How many minds do you think that took away from learning the craft of learning an instrument? The millions of kids all over the world. I just want to play Metallica songs and bought the fucking what's it called?
Guitar Hero.
Thank you, Guitar Hero. Metallica.
Garage Band.
You can Garage Band. You can play it and play drums in the room. Next board, next game.
Yeah.
And then that moment when they want to create and do music is gone. And it's not been harnessed, it's just been put on the screen.
Microsoft years ago, they saw the popularity of Guitar Hero. I mean, there's competitions. I mean, today we have professional Guitar Hero players making a lot more than actual really good guitar players.
It's not about it's not about financial gain.
It was like, what, like 10 years ago, Microsoft did a real live, Phil, you know this, the realistic, you can play this game and learn to play guitar.
Yeah,
at
it
the
was
same
Rocksmith.
time. It has thousands of sensors on it. The guitar was like the price of a real guitar, and they're trying to market it. They're trying to put that out. It failed miserably. Because nobody actually wants to learn to play the guitar and do all this. They just want to finger the bang stick. They just want to finger the bang stick all day long.
Finger the bang stick.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the answer to that would be to have a sensor that very accurately tells you, like when you're playing an actual guitar, it would censor it and it would give you the screen just like it does on Guitar Hero. Because you know how you go up that like line,
they tried that.
Like you're on Rainbow Road, like, and then it gives you that feedback, that visual.
They tried
feedback.
that. Yeah, so if you hit the strings wrong and you're going like this on the wrong key, the screen will show real life haptic feedback. But the problem is, so many kids got so complicated. Like, how many buttons are on Guitar Hero? Like 7 total.
They have more with a touchpad now, so you can fucking Steve Vai. You can do eruption. Yeah.
There's less than a normal controller. And the thing with virtual reality, with Beat Saber, at least it takes some physical and hand-eye coordination to do Beat Saber. It really does.
Yeah, but what you're actually doing is it's basically you're playing whack-a-mole, is what you're playing.
Advanced whack-a-mole, fuck it.
That's what it is, right?
It's better than just fingering the bang stick for an hour. Yeah, but I mean,
it's your whack-a-mole. I know what whack-a-mole is.
No, I know whack-a-mole. I just don't know
the game that you're talking about.
It's whack-a-mole.
Beat Saber, so it's
Beat Sabers.
You're not beating the bang stick.
Sounds like a bad
It's a Beat Saber. Basically, it's a VR game, and you have a controller in each hand.
It's a real thing?
You know what Beat Saber is?
No.
This is why it's amazing.
Jamie, pull it up.
I'm going to pull it up. Let's not left
but
Jamie.
basically you have
Enough
two.
with the Jamie. We've
Alexander,
Alex.
pull it
No,
up.
just Alex is my name, isn't it?
Yes.
It's Jamie.
We don't need to copy the Joe Rogan experience.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not trying to copy.
We're trying to do our own
The
thing.
mail, dude. The invoice is in the mail. Send the full.
What's it called again? Laser Quest? What?
Beat Saber.
Laser Quest.
That'd be a good name for it.
What 1,000 hours of Beat Saber looks like? Oh God. Yeah, this is just people basically. This is what Preston is just like. I can't wait till I have this in the garage and then we have this because he'll love it.
No, I don't want VR.
You don't. Yeah, you do. Basically, it's the same. It's Guitar Hero, but you're actually moving, which I encourage because it's cardio.
Yeah.
But you're playing whack-a-mole.
But you're not hitting anything physical.
No, you have two
And you
little
have to
controls.
move side to side.
Right, but you're not hitting anything physical in the physical space. You're
No, but the thing I'm surely will vibrate. It's giving you the feeling and the illusion of physically actually.
Right.
It's your predatory drive and your brain is being engaged.
Right.
You've hit something. Whack-a-mole.
See, all this stuff just...
This is insane.
That's all it is. People do this for about 1,000 hours.
Where do you go to do this? Is this like
in
an
your
arcade
living
thing?
room with your fucking headset on, bro. This is what you see. You listen to this crazy.
Look, and he's actually dodging and everything. All right.
So I think this
crazy.
is way better in Guitar Hero. It's not great, but I'd rather be playing that than Guitar Hero for hours.
And the music is full like Bob Rosman, what he called the stupid beat, which is the European 4/4. Stupid, and people just stay there. It's amazing.
No,
It's not those.
No, they have real songs. They upload stuff. So depending on the beat,
catches you.
so I
It's
mean,
crazy.
depending on the beat, you actually have to move your arms up and down. So if you're playing Enter Sandman, you got to go through the ups and downs, the side to sides. You have to move. You have to move back.
He
and
was
forth,
even
up and
ducking
down.
because there was blocks coming at him that were solid.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's good in this
Virtual blocks.
for cardio. It's good, but you end up doing that for a long time. And yeah, for physical movement, it's good, but like.
I mean, there could be your whole family could be
Go to the
raping
gym.
children right there, and you're just like totally gone. Fucking Ready Player One.
Fucking
They're all being
Go to the
killed.
gym, go for a run. Just stay in your living room. It's time to work out. Let me put my fucking headset on. Fucking flailing around. Like, I don't know, man.
I mean, that or the Peloton.
Or what?
The
A
Peloton. $18,000 for a bicycle.
Fuck, I
Can't
love
go anywhere.
Peloton.
You can't
You
go anywhere.
can't go anywhere.
What is it?
I have
At least
two.
give me the option to unmount this thing.
I'd rather have a
You know what I
push
mean?
bike that I don't
Yeah,
ride.
at least let me.
Give me the option.
Yeah, okay, I've learned now. Can I take
Right.
it outside? No, stay in here. Stay in
This
your
is like,
house.
this is like for intro. This is like we're gonna get warmed up on the whole concept. Let me get it on the TV thing. Okay, boom, boom.
Stay in your house. It promotes staying inside.
I like how Lance Armstrong tried to sell a bike once that was his route for the Tour de France, and this whole bike had XYZ axis that moved up and down, side to side, and whatnot. They tried to market it in Europe, and Europe's like, why? It's right there. It failed horribly. It worked great in the U.S. because, like, yeah, I'm Lance Armstrong. There's videos of dudes in their full biking gear. It's like, why? Just wear your boxers. Do you really need the shorts? Yeah, I need the shorts. They're more
Have you ever
aerodynamic.
ridden a bicycle?
No.
For a long time? Like all those guys are doing that like for a specific reason.
I need
Like,
8
get it,
wheels.
I see a bunch of guys that look like Lance Armstrong, and like it's kind of funny sometimes. You know what I mean? 'Cause these guys are for sure not even in shape. They're like 70 years old, whatever. But
Why they gotta be 70?
no, these guys are just saying like you got like a 350-pound.
Do you know what my favourite thing in the world is? If you've got the time, especially living where we live here, if you've got the time, do it. Just do it. Don't even think about it. Just go and do it. Especially if the weather is nice and it's cool. Just go to Lovers Point and just sit there. And if you want to put your headphones in, but just spend 30 minutes, 45 minutes and just watch.
Never been there.
But like, no, recently now, masks on, masks off, people barbecuing, people giving a fuck, people are not really giving a fuck, people are semi-giving a fuck, all sorts of craziness, and there's all sorts of people from all over the world who like hire summits. It's mad. It's one of the craziest things ever, man.
People watching, yeah, it's a whole new level now.
Right there, at that specific spot in the world, it's like such a trip, man.
It is a trip.
It's such a trip.
I've done it
So
for many,
crazy.
many years, Preston and I both.
Yeah. I mean, you go down Lover's Point, even on a normal day, somebody's having a wedding, and people are like, oh, let's walk right behind the fucking wedding. Why? Or my favorite is people walking through the wedding. We were talking about this, last night? The beach house finally set up street parking or street dining on the street.
I drove past it.
And Alex's like, well, why don't they fucking put it in, I don't know, the thousands of square feet of parks? And I dealt with this with doing another event. It's like, excuse me, I have the legal right to walk through here. This is a public park. I pay public taxes. Do you actually pay taxes? Probably not. You know, and it's like, oh, I need to walk right through these individuals' meals and take a french fry off their plate because this is a public space and you can't put up a fence because this is my right. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, so now we make these people eat on the street as opposed to a nice, beautiful park. I would love half a Lover's Point. I would love a beach house dining on the pier. I would absolutely do it.
You know,
but no, we can't do that because I have to walk around. I need to take Instagram pictures right here with all those people dining. It's like, fuck off. Just a couple hours a day, a few hours a day. Just let these people have a nice meal.
There is also
No.
there is also the mathematics of the most important mathematics and the only thing that matters, which is space in the park and the parking out front, right there. Space where the city have allowed us times how many seats equals how much. How many fucking tables and chairs do we got to buy from Home Depot or whatever for outside space? X amount. In the outside in the park, if we're allowed to do that, and the city lets us do that, all you got to do is get weighted umbrellas and tables and chairs. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you got to do, and you got to rope it off. A nice neat little bit of rope. That's it.
Can't have rope.
But then it's starting to get colder, so you got to do outside heaters.
Great.
And you got to do that. So the cost of like how much longer is this going to take? How many more variables do we have? Variables now is winter is coming, right? Winter is coming. Oh, there's a window here in this one.
No.
Close it because of the noise.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous, and a lot of people they really don't give a shit about the amount of families that really depend on that place operating and functioning, just because they want to walk through. The fact an area that nobody's ever just laid out a beach towel and sat at, ever.
Well, how about people just not giving a shit about business owners in general, and they think that capitalism's a total farce and a total failure, even though it's been designed to seem like a failure because it's all robber baron capitalism, where it's not really true capitalism. It's just it's being sold down the river because they have a system now to replace it, which is like digital currency, backed by nothing, backed by faith alone, and the new generations of kids, they don't really want to work. They want everything given to them.
Yep.
Not all of them, but a large portion of them, and they're willing to burn everything down and say this whole system needs to die and burn, and a lot of it does need to, but it's being done in a way to destroy a lot of really hardworking families and people who actually work and actually want to keep building things.
Well, it goes back to a conversation I had in college, right? And this was, I'm not making this up, a business ethics class. And there's a whole discussion about how it's your right to sue the business owner if you slip and fall. And pretty much the whole class is going, yeah, I wish I could slip and fall. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. And then the teacher's like, yeah, and I was carrying my 3-year-old and I couldn't look down because I was carrying my 3-year-old and there was a puddle there. And if I was 8 feet over to the left, I could have slipped in the puddle. And then I could have sued him. They're like, oh my God, the store had a puddle in it. It's like, you're carrying your 3-year-old and you're not looking where you're going? First of all, no, we can't hear that. Second of all, it's like, why don't you have better shoes? Like, water happens. It's earth. It's mostly water. But to follow up with the conversation itself was that there was a whole group of people saying, oh yeah, this is great. We could sue the business owner. We can get this. We can get that. We can do this. And I finally said, okay, so let's just think about this realistically. This is the family's livelihood. Let's just say they spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 generations building this up. They exist. They spent their whole life. This is their livelihood. This is what their families live on. This is what the cousins, the uncles, this is their thing. They have multiple shops. They have multiple stores. And you bring a lawsuit in front of them and it shuts them down. Now the guy that's supposed to be in charge, or woman, whatever, whoever's in charge, goes, I want to kill this motherfucker. And they go get a gun and they kill you. And the whole class like, no, they can't kill you because that's illegal. I'm like, that's still fine, but they know exactly who you are and what you did to them, and it just destroyed their entire family's livelihood and ability to survive. You really don't think no one's ever going to do anything bad to you outside the law? And the whole class just went,
and is it really bad? I mean, like, if they sue you over something which is obvious, like, they could have ill intent right from the beginning. They want to take your money away from you. They want to steal from you. If you decide to kill that person, is it really bad if they fucking destroyed 10 generations worth of your family? Is it really bad if you say, this is retribution, like, I didn't have any ill intent in you, you wanted to destroy me?
Yeah.
And then, but people are like, no, well, you could never do anything bad outside the law, or you can never take things in your own hands, like vigilantism. They frame it, or it's been framed in their mind where, you doing something against a business is somehow like you're suing Google or something. No one could ever be harmed. Oh, it's just super corporate money. These aren't really people. They're just droids. Something like that. It's like the corporate mindset of these aren't even humans. You can do whatever you want to them. It's like, they're fucking us. Might as well fuck them.
Yeah. And it goes back to the easy way out, too. People don't want to work for it. They just want to sue somebody. They want to get rich. They want to do this. It's just like at a certain day, if somebody does something really bad, like the McDonald's lawsuit with the hot coffee, everybody just says, "Oh, this gal burned herself." If you really look into the details of the McDonald's hot coffee lawsuit, there was monumental, complete front, top to bottom, side to side, pure neglect at every single level. And this gal, she didn't get a little hot spot on her leg. She had 3rd-degree burns on most of her thighs. And she was like 75 or something, a grandma just getting her kids McDonald's. And she's in the hospital for weeks. And it was actually McDonald's. And all she said is, "Hey, can you guys pay for my medical bill?" And they're like, "No, fuck you." And it was a systematic all the way from the top at McDonald's. All the way to the top. And they just said, "Fuck you." So once the lawyers and the law enforcement got involved, the medical doctors, they realized that the McDonald's coffee #1 was at I think 180 or 190 degrees. Nobody wants a cup of coffee that hot. Ever. You're not going to sit there like, "I want a cup of coffee. I'm going to wait 45 minutes to drink it." No. The second thing, the biggest thing that they found out is that the cups and the lids were known to be faulty and hazardous to the individual with that burning hot cup of coffee. So not only did they produce coffee at a much higher than necessary temperature, but they also knowingly made and distributed faulty products that were known to hurt people. Knowing this information, they still put it out there. Because they figured, okay, well, X amount of people are going to get hurt and it's going to cost us X amount of dollars, and it was less than redoing the cups. So they said, let's put it out there. Same thing with Fight Club and the seatbelts in cars. Yeah. Edward Norton character said, okay, well, we know the issue. We know it's going to cost us $10 million, but it's going to cost us $15 million to fix it. So let's just put it out there.
Exactly. So your point being that there are actual huge neglect and ill will by corporations.
But because you're carrying a 3-year-old and you're not looking where you're walking, absolutely not. That's your problem. Look where you're walking. You got taught that since you're a little kid. Look both ways across the street before you cross. Don't walk across the freeway. But if you put a pair of sunglasses on, you walk across the freeway and a car hits you, whose fault is that? Yours. You walk across the freeway, you idiot.
Yeah, and then it's like those people who go around place to place for disability or whatever. Like, you don't have a wheelchair ramp. It's like, well, there's not even paved roads in this whole city, and we live in a fucking treehouse business. And it's like, no, I want my fucking ramp. But there's people that do that. They go door to door, and it's like, I'm gonna sue you. Yep. And that's going on with a lot of different businesses.
There's a lot of money into it, man.
There is.
So these people know there's money out there. It definitely doesn't make it good at all. But there's a lot of people, they find these loopholes. I don't know how they do it.
You know what would be a really tough job? Selling doors door to door. Hello, could I interest you in it? Oh,
not really.
You got one. Never mind.
You could just drive around and be like, that's a shitty door. They probably got more in there.
I could kick this door in one try.
It's a fucking joke, man.
Like, let's just say, think about this.
Literally a joke.
If you were to lose a door from inside your house, you're for sure getting another one.
Maybe.
You're for sure.
Yeah, but who's not going to... British humour just lost on a run for the Americans.
I don't know.
We're not lost on it. We're just thinking it deeply.
Okay.
I mean, I hear you for sure.
Okay. It's a different frequency.
So, Phil, what's going on with your permit for the cutting the hair?
Here we go.
Part of the permit is submitted today.
Part A of Part A, B, C, D.
Let's rewind a bit, because I've got to catch myself up on the story. So, where we currently are is that we're waiting for a certain individual to appear, and once that person has appeared, more information would be available about said permit. That was the latest of my understanding.
Right. So I have part of the permit submitted. Right. I have to get proof of insurance for just being able to be on the sidewalk. And then once I have proof of insurance, I have to submit that. That'll be the second part that I have to submit. And then from there it goes to the city manager's desk.
Proof of new insurance?
Yeah. So I already have insurance. But
why can't that extend to outside?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Because it's like not your issue. It's the city claiming it.
It's called a sidewalk, not a safety walk or a perfect walk.
Woo! Wonderful.
Good one.
That was good.
But yeah, that's pretty much where it's at.
So how many days? What's the countdown?
I'm hoping this week.
Okay.
to have that done. Figure out the insurance. Because all I need is a 10 by 10 foot with a awning. Because there used to actually be an awning out in front of my shop. There used to be like a big old.
The city made you take it down, right?
No, I never had it. They took it down before I got there.
Well, the city took it down.
But the city took it down, right? And
I
it's a
mean, I don't know
requirement.
about that.
If it's a requirement, the point that they took it down means at some point they didn't think it was a requirement, so it shouldn't be a requirement. So let's just ignore that, and shall we move forward amicably with the work to get this done? No?
I mean, I'm like the first guy to even want to do this.
Of
So,
course.
I mean,
you have to.
You're the first.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that not that you're a martyr? You have to. That should be on the fucking business card. Phil, you have to.
So, I mean,
that's your shit. That's your
I mean,
fucking logo.
the first part was easy. It's drawn up. It's already like a rough sketch because you have to submit a sketch too. That's one part I didn't say.
Crowns?
I mean, I don't think it matters. I mean, you probably could get away with that.
Wasn't there
Construction paper,
wasn't there an
Crayola.
offer of a tent, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
But so that is legally, I'm not mistaken, considered an awning. If it's to the wall, it is an awning. That is legal. The literal definition of an awning. It is, and if you have to put Scotch tape and scotch it to the wall, it is therefore joined to the facade of the building, and it becomes a coverage. It's an awning. Scotch it on, boop, boop, fine. It's attached to the building. It's an awning.
But it's going to be
And they
inside
offered
the driveway, right? Or in where the parking is. It's not going to be.
No, it's not going to be in the street. It's going to be literally right in front of my door.
He's got 10 feet from the door.
So you're going to have to
what you
take one of your barber chairs out there?
No, there's no way. Dude. It's like 300 plus pounds for one of those chairs. So
do,
no.
can't do that every day.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use a folding chair. It's going to have to be low budget.
You're going to have to get a nice pillow.
I would
Nice little-
suggest. Can I make a suggestion? Can I make a suggestion? And I'll help you. I'll come and help you figure it out because it will be a pain in the ass, but we'll figure it out, and he'll help build it because I'm really smart.
No.
And you fucking.
No, I'll help build it. I'm just saying you're not smart.
Ah, okay. Well, let's continue rolling down the hill and find out and see who ends up with the facing the fucking dog
Let's
shit.
hear
shall we?
the genius idea.
Why don't we build, if you have just a tent awning, whatever, find out the dimensions of it, you could very easily create, like, just take a page out of, like, stage production work. What you do is you very simply build 1, 2, 3 walls out of cheap wood, 2x4, whatever, dry, fill it up, paint it white. You take some of your dopest shit that you like inside a tent and you fucking
No, there's rules about how many walls you can have open
Inside-
on the tent.
which is how many?
You can only have, I think, one wall.
Fine. With one opening, right?
No, one
interior
closed,
wall.
like one wall.
Right.
That's
So
it.
that's
So there has
because
to be
of
airflow.
like a vendor. So you can have one wall. So you can have it in any direction you choose. Think about it. Does the customer want to see it instead of looking out the street? So when you from outside, this would be cool. So from outside, as you look in the tent, it's just a tent and you're into the barber shop. So you walk in. As you turn around and sit on the chair, you're looking at the world, but in front of you there's a white wall on the door in front of you, which has just got little legs on it. You can pick it up and put it back. But you've got little barbershop things. You're painting it to look like the inside of the barbershop. You put one of your clocks on it. So what they're looking at is the world through a barbershop. I built bars for events and stuff and shit. I've created bars.
I mean, what is a wall? I mean, if you just get some of that metallic
You make a white, you make
fence
a
skating
pyramid
and you
frame.
just hang shit, and then you just take it down in like 3 foot
Do
sections.
you have to have a wall?
No, but it's an artistic point of view. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Just to make it more of an experience. Because if you do it on the low budge and low just a chair, it's just create a talking point, an experience. It pulls focus and it brings people to get their haircut.
I mean,
It's just
who
another
even
point.
knows how long this is going to be?
Right, so you got to keep.
It's going to be as long as we allow it to be.
I think you
So
should
you
just
got to
put
keep
it.
rolling and make it different and keep moving and don't just fucking succumb to shit, bro. Make it dope. Be the fucking focus, dude. Have you seen the barbershop? What happens? Check out. You hear about the circles of your clientele and your people in your small town that you live in. Need something to fucking talk about. Need something to focus on. Need someone to spend their money. And you need to keep the doors open and the lights on. So you need to fucking make it happen. You're a showman, you're a musician, right? You gotta go to work, you gotta go to the stage, you gotta do some cool shit. You gotta put your funky glasses on, stand at the sun, woohoo, what's up guys? Sit out there, get a fucking ukulele, I'm not joking. People love a ukulele. There's nothing nicer than hearing somebody play the ukulele really well. Calms the fucking nerves. Hey guys, what's up? You're sitting there with a mullet on with these crazy glasses on playing the ukulele. What the fuck? Just another thing, just keep hitting them. Just hit them every few days. If you've got the canvas, just keep painting pictures. This is a place where people paint shit.
And then if it all fails, just start.
At least you
selling-
went out with a bang, feeling good and trying to create, rather than to self-destroy.
Start selling cans of corn and bags of chips and a handle of fucking vodka, and then you'll be a fucking store.
Or just whatever.
You know, they can't shut you down.
You can sell from your little tent. What? You can start fucking get
You'll be selling his fucking rum and then just fucking like
no,
bag of chips.
No rum's getting involved. Hold
on. I'm gonna design your whole business.
We were just in. Alcohol. Negative, Ghost Rider. Negative. But you have a sale license, right? You can sell shit from there. Forget your hats and shit that people left in there, whatever. Nah, man, make stickers, whatever. Keep it a ukulele. Keep smiling. Keep whatever. Just do something positive and keep painting.
Sell the ukulele.
No, just you know what I'm saying. Just keep painting. Who's gonna say Phil was playing his ukulele outside the store? Nah, because everyone's on your side because you're creating beauty and you're trying to make people's day brighter because you're outside. You have to be on stage every day, with a smile on your face every day. Because you're that guy in PG where everyone's fucking walking around going, no. Play the fucking ukulele. Play the fucking ukulele.
The uke.
Secrets to life are being revealed, finally.
Yes.
Ukulele Zunu.
Escapism.
Jason Mraz, man.
That's what I've been doing for most of my life. Creating escapism for people.
David Blaine.
For them to come here and go, look at this, now drink. That's what I've done.
Blaine.
You're going to go, look at this, now let me cut your hair. That's what you're doing.
Lots of
That's
birds.
the eagle.
Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, it was good.
That's an eagle. That was dope.
So what do you think about all that?
Freedom. Rock, flag, and eagle.
Okay. We
Right,
ride.
Charlie?
Charlie?
Always sunny.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were going a bit Vietnam. I was like, are you calling him Asian? Sorry, I don't know what level of America you play at. I don't know where you are. I never know, man. I never know where he is.
You haven't known since 1776.
Here goes Preston again with the fucking handbrake. Sliding into the
Not
fucking position.
1776.
Showing up in his pickup truck. What's up, guys? America's here.
Hell yeah, brother.
Rolling coal.
I wish.
So,
I got a gas engine like a simp.
Oh, it's now recorded that you referred to yourself.
so what does that mean, simp?
Oh, no.
Phil's
no.
got to explain
Phil,
simpery.
it's
Oh,
your turn.
no. Simp.
He's gonna ruin this.
Sympology.
We can't-
It's a word that came out of
can't
nowhere.
sue.
I feel like it really came out of nowhere. It was like, it was getting circulated for a little bit, and I'm no simpologist by any means.
Yeah, you are.
But, I mean, if you go on Instagram and you really trace this back, simp's been around. It's been around for a while, dude. It's not like this is an overnight thing. But it went from, like, a few people were saying simp, and then now everybody's saying simp. And, like, it's become part of the meme culture. I mean, there's just so many different variations of what's going on with simp as a meme. But simp, basically, from my understanding, is colloquially referring to somebody that is doing something for ulterior motives.
Right.
So it's being used really, really broadly now. Originally, what I heard that it was being used for is people that are sympathetic or being too, basically, yeah, I think that basically it's just shorter for sympathetic towards women's issues. So these guys that, oh, I'm going to go help so-and-so after work, I'm going to go do this, boom, 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 boom. They're doing stuff, they think or they allude to other people that I'm doing this as a nice guy or I'm doing this to be a good person, but really it's just because they want to get with this chick.
Okay.
Right, but it never works.
At least that's what I heard
Yeah.
referred to before. Now simp is just like anytime somebody has an ulterior motive or is like basically just doing something to do it. There's no real, I don't know, it's not based. It's like the opposite of being based.
So Preston, you
Look
said
at Phil with
I
his
have an
ukulele
electric
being a little
motor. No, you
simp.
said I have a gas motor because I'm a simp. So
Yeah.
to have a gas motor because you want to impress your girl? Is that how it goes? Is that what you
No,
meant?
I mean, when you're rolling coal and you want to roll coal, but you can't roll coal because you got a gas engine, you're a simp. Just go get a diesel.
Okay. Got it. Thank you for the explanation.
Yeah.
As someone who grew
But
up...
it's not like I'm
as-
all
as-
day, every day long, like, oh, I wish I could roll coal. I wish I could roll coal. It's not like my Instagram post, like, look at this guy rolling coal.
What is rolling coal?
Rolling coal's badass.
Yeah.
That's right. Fucking hell, I was so lost. I was like, what the fuck are you talking
Yeah,
about?
because
Okay,
Like,
tell
don't
me
feel
what
bad,
rolling coal
Alex.
is.
Like
Mate, I
this
can't
is not
assume-
American colloquialisms. I am lost on most of the stuff these guys say.
Listen, dude, I come from a place where if you go 2 streets in the wrong direction, someone will speak a language that you don't know what the fuck they're saying at all, and you have to just figure it out on the fly.
Fucking want to carry my nowhere, mate.
You watch Snatch if you
Yeah.
don't. What? If I'm going to buy a car and no fucking wheels. Yeah. Wicked.
But no, rolling
I know a
coal
bunch
is
of people speak like
basically
that. Like, what?
what now you have to do is you press a button that injects extra diesel into your engine, so it burns off dirty, and then you have that big plume of black smoke coming out of the back
that's
of your truck.
riding coal.
Also
Rolling
known,
coal.
Rolling coal.
also known
It's
as
rolling coal.
people who do that are also known by another word, which is cunt. Anyone who does that is a cunt. Anybody
Truly.
who's burning extra
They've done it to
fuel
me. I've been walking
and
on the
there's,
side
like,
of the street and a
black
guy in a
smoke
big
come out.
diesel. Yeah, he just.
No,
Yeah.
you're a cunt for doing that. You're just a cunt. Burn the world, fuck it all, I've got nothing to live for. I think I'm amazing. You're
Jokers.
nothing. You're fucking nothing, and you're gonna die nothing alone in your big truck. Fuck you. You're
Yeah.
a cunt.
So, Alex, what would you say is like a big thing going on in the world right now that you don't see people paying attention to?
This conversation. Sorry. It was too easy.
Wow.
Excellent.
Oh, it was the easy one. Be real. It was the easy one. Come on, it was the quickest one. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know.
How about the UFO disclosures by the Pentagon? Do you that's been rolled over. Like nobody's really paying attention.
No one's paying attention to it.
Nobody gives a shit.
Because no one believes it. Because Trump hasn't come out and said, they're here.
I think at
Until
this
someone
point,
says they're here, right? Yeah. We've known they're here for a while. It's just because you'll be like, okay, they're here. Everyone's like, yeah, we know. Just tell us. We've known since the fucking whenever.
Yeah.
You've shown us in movies and shit. You've programmed our brain to be ready for it. So just bring it. Fuck, or stop talking about it. Or the Pentagon has released that this thing came from another planet. We know, motherfucker. We know. We know. Anybody who doesn't know or thinks I'm not sure, even not sure people, you're with us anyway. Just come this way. Anybody who's fucking, there's no such thing, then just go over there. You're not welcome here. Go somewhere else.
How much percentage of these crafts would you say are alien and have them are made by the governments?
Now that's where the question of, is it aliens or other things, or is it the technology we have has just reached such a ridiculous place? The world's not ready for it yet. And we've got it, and we're going to fly it around and do drills and play with it. And sometimes people see it, and they go, oh, God, something else. And they go, oh, fucking hell, we keep getting caught because our shit's so dope. Oh, fuck, what do we do? They've got us on cameras. Shit, we got interdimensional travel or whatever the fuck we're floating. Or even just shit that's really fast. Look how quickly we can move in this space.
Because I'm definitely in
Moonraker.
both camps. I'm definitely in like there's aliens coming here, have been for a long time, but also that we have shit equal to, or not equal to, but in the same realm of what people would call UFOs. And so this disclosure to me is just like another level of them. Like you say, they're telling us through movies, they're telling us through all these things. They're just getting us ready for greater levels of technological disclosure.
Or is it all a ruse?
Could all be a ruse
Is
too.
it all a fucking ruse? That's the thing.
You mean like
Is it-
distraction, more and more?
Yeah. How do we make everybody stop? They have a book, right? They must just ride with me for a moment. Not they have, like it's factual, but there's a book, fantasy world. In this book is written down how many ways can we make everyone stop and pay attention. Class, pay attention. How can everybody stop with fear? Here's a list of things we can do that will make people do that. The biggest one that will buy a lot of time, probably all the time, like almost like a turn off the keys, throw them away. We're in control of everything now. It would be just like UFOs, aliens are here. Forget everything. Elections, nothing matters. War, peace, coronavirus. Well, okay, here's the jab. Aliens are here. Aliens are here. Next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I absolutely
War's
agree.
been done. Everyone's wise to it. People rebel. People don't want to fight. It's tough to get bodies to join the military and stuff. There's all these things. As awakening grows, less and less people want to fight. People go. You don't think this general sitting there going, fuck it. Like Preston said, everyone's a pussy. Fuck. Everyone, what are we going to do? Everyone's a pussy. We got no more fucking boys that want to fight. Everyone wants to fucking play Fortnite. Fuck. Everyone wants to sit in their room and play war. No one wants to, okay, we'll hire 10 people to fly things around. But we got no more brutes. The robots aren't ready yet. It's going to cost too much money. And they don't want to give it to us. Fuck, what are we going to do? So forget it all. There's too many people battling at the top about how much longer can we keep this going on a financial game. Fuck it. Just aliens, bring the aliens in.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they said, oh, well, everybody knew there's fucking aliens for years. There's always the leaks. There's that one documentary we watched the other night. I forget what the guy's name is, but I mean...
Bob Lazar.
Yeah, it was pretty shocking how credible it was. I mean, honestly,
It's credible,
yeah, by the first part, I was like, okay, here we go. Then, you watch the whole thing, and, you research the guy, and you look him up, and you're like, this is really legit. Yeah, but I think until they have a literal Mars Attacks alien walk out there and go and all that shit, even then, you're going to have probably, at least in the United States, 25 to 40% of people going, CGI. That's not fake. That's a hologram. That's not real. That's not this. That's not that.
But this
And you'll have
things happen in stages. Like you got it's got to happen in stages, right? You can't just like you got to flash the light and do the hologram first and see how many people you can capture, and then we'll fly the fake one into Nevada, and it'll be like in Mars Attacks, like you said. There'll be a bunch of people. Welcome. Trump will be the fucking first human to welcome an alien. Oh,
I mean,
Trump. Watch, he's gonna welcome. Beat me up, Scotty. He's gonna get on the UFO and wave and salute, and the fucking door's gonna close.
No one will trust him after that. If he gets beamed up, not even his most diehard Republican
back like
he's been taken.
He's gonna come like Moses with
He could
tablets,
be.
bro.
He could be.
He's gonna come out like fucking Moses in a robe. They talked to me. They told me many things.
They told me many things. The good things.
All the things. I know all the things now.
Great things.
Good numbers. Great numbers. They said.
You want to know about aliens?
Look.
I'm your guy. I'm the first president allowed.
They
to
said,
talk about aliens.
Donald, your problems are done. Okay.
4 more years. 4 more years. 4 more years. I'll tell you everything
4 more
they told
centuries,
me.
Donald. 4 more centuries.
It's gonna take me 4 more years to tell you everything they told me. Dude, watch.
Look, it's like this.
But in Mars Attacks, they said, we come in peace, we are your friends, and then they vaporized everybody on the fucking place.
No, they let a dove of peace go, and a white dove of peace, and they didn't know what it was, and it freaked them out. And they went, they're trying to bomb us, and they freaked out. That's
Really?
Yeah. That's the main pivotal point in Mars Attacks by Tim Burton is that they peace, and we're all together, and they shake, and it's a beautiful moment of love and triumphant universal understanding, and a hippie opens a basket and lets go a white dove of peace, and the white dove flies over, and the head president, whatever, of the alien sees it, doesn't know what it is, and freaks out and panics that there's something coming in to kill him, like a missile or something, and they fucking, they just start spraying.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the moment in the movie.
Honestly, if you look at the world today, Jesus could show up tomorrow at the Vatican and be like, oh my God, I'm Jesus. This is my second coming. You're all saved. And somebody fucking stabs him because they don't believe him. And he shows up 3 days later like, what the fuck, guys?
At the Vatican?
It's true.
People just getting stabbed?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? The Vatican's a den of fucking vipers, dude.
But just...
It's built on skulls. And you kidding, bro?
Yeah, you
know
think
how many
those
people historically
tens
have
of
been
thousands
killed
of
in
skeletons on the Vatican just like appeared one day?
Yeah.
You think they opened a wall like, oh shit,
One of
here's
the
some
most
skulls.
amazing things you can ever do in your life if you get a chance, if you go to Paris, if we're allowed to travel, if that side of the world comes back. It sort of is, but whatever, we'll see. Go to catacombs in Paris. That's a day, man. And if you can, and if you've got...
It's a level on Diablo.
If you know how to do it, it's not legal to smoke weed in France, but you know, there's ways.
It never is.
There's ways.
That won't stop you.
Interestingly, basically, you go to any main sort of central plaza. Everyone knows it. It's just facts of life. You have what's called the Rakai. They're basically a gang, Middle Eastern gangs, Moroccans. There's a bunch of mixture in there.
Not the Moroccans.
And it's called the Rakai. And you don't really walk down the middle. And if you do, you just keep to yourself, whatever. But they just run the middle. And shit, like shit. Shit is Moroccan French for hash. So, but take that as you will. But whatever, you do that, and it just exists. You walk down and you hear that. You hear people say it. You know, just you walking down a section of Paris, and that's what you hear. It's factual. Catacombs.
But back to what Preston was saying, and I think this is very true. It's very apt. If Jesus did come back to the Vatican, wherever he showed up, I'd say the majority of people would kill him. Or they would not. Because what was his message? People, the Christians of the world today are fake ass motherfucking Christians. They don't know the first thing about what it really means. You take just basic things about the major religions like usury. You're not allowed to take money at
I mean,
with
isn't interest a sin?
It is a sin, and that would immediately disqualify 98% of all religious people, and it's a fundamental tenet. You're not allowed to do this, and it's fuck not lying, not murdering people, not stealing from people. That people do that on the daily.
So just a random in the category.
You look at the Amish community. There's no such thing as interest. Yeah. I need $100,000 to build this barn. I can pay you back in 30 years. Okay, paying back $100,000.
Yeah.
So you talk about Christians real quick and responsibility. When you go to catacombs in Paris, the fun thing is watching the Christian tour groups go through and see and realize what actually happened. When you go to these big sites across Europe and you look at evangelized church groups who just like have to look upon the reality of it. It's really trippy, man. That's my favorite thing about getting to those kind of things. Really.
What? Because there's like a bunch of Christian.
Yeah, a bunch of Christian people who then have to stand and look around. Oh, look at all the bodies. And a lot of the time it doesn't register. They're just walking together and holding the Bible and then looking at the history and looking at the Bible, the visualization of things they've read about in the Bible. A lot of times you'll notice that like it doesn't register. And Paris specifically is a trip because you're like, I can't remember how many feet, 300 feet down, and you're in a tunnel, and you're going to be in there for an hour, maybe a little bit more, and you can't hear anything. And you go tunnel to left to right, the way it's designed, the stone, there's no sound. It's a real trip, because all of a sudden, as you're walking down there, there's no one behind you, no one in front of you, it's just miles of empty cavern and stone. And as you walk through it, to the right, you're just, and just a whole bunch of people walk past you. It will trip you out. And you walk through, and there's like
because the sound gets like sucked into these
it's
little...
really weird, and the temperature's warm in there underground, and there's like 200 miles of tunnels under Paris. And there's people who live there, 200 miles of tunnel. And if you know the right people, it's time for this discussion for another podcast, you can go and go spelunking and just follow people, just go and get lost in there. But people get lost in there, people die in there, people just, if you go in there, you get off, it's a literal maze. Yeah. But you go in there into the touristy section, where it's look at this, and you see some of the craziest stone underground, it should just blow your mind. There's like 2 million or something like skulls, dead bodies, stones in there. And you just walk
of
around
Christians?
Of people just dig in, and slaves, and years of Christians murdering people, and there's a whole history to it. And everything's written in Latin, and it's like La Porte de la Muerte, or whatever it is, the Mort,
death.
Fucking the door of the death, the door of death. It's a trip, dude, and Paris is built on a spiral, and it's built on a marsh, so it's all like on different levels. And it's not really like, it's not very secure. And things just blow up, like old gas lines in Paris. All the time we lived there, you just hear, what happened? Oh, they get down the street, just houses just blow up all the time. It happens like 3 times a day or something. Things just blow up.
It was like one of my diving instructors.
Crazy. People die all the time.
He was down in Mexico just doing cenote dives. And cenotes down in Mexico, they can or cannot be connected. You always see the ones on videos and whatnot. But he was doing the shit where he'd go into cenote and go into a cave for like 2, 3, maybe 4 miles into a cave. There's no surface. There's no getting out. One false fin swipe, you're going to die. Right? And then he was, I think, like 2 or 2.5 miles. This is years ago. You can find the story on Nat Geo. He was down into a cave, sealed off. I mean, he was several miles and miles and miles away from the ocean. Then he started finding bones. And he's like, oh, this is really weird. There's bones. And they kept getting more human-like. Then he started finding some rocks that looked like fingers. And he started finding skulls. Miles away from any sort of geographical open spot. There was no reasonable way besides the earth physically opening up and then closing, because there was no current that could just blow these skulls over there because they're calcified in the rocks. And it ended up being like a missing link in human evolution. No. And yeah, he told me about that years before it was even published in Nat Geo. Because I mean, he went back down there probably several dozen more times. But he said
excavated the rock, right?
Yeah, he said it was the weirdest thing. He was just 2.5 miles into a cave and started finding human skulls.
Where is this geographically?
In Mexico. It's near the coastline, but not that near.
On the Sea of Cortez or in the Pacific?
Pacific.
Okay.
Yeah. And it didn't really look like a Neanderthal skull. It didn't look like a modern skull. You can find the pictures and they're calcified, but it's literally credited being the missing link in human evolution. Like, how do we get from there to here? And it was thousands of years before any of the ancient Mexican civilizations existed, because they can still carbonate part of the skull.
It's credited as the missing link that explains how humans became from...
like part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a piece to the puzzle that we don't know how many pieces there are.
Right.
But it was just such a critical piece, like, oh shit, this one fits. Bam. You know.
That's amazing. Those are very dangerous. It's probably one of the most dangerous things you can do. Cave diving like that. Miles in.
Yeah.
Because you're miles and miles away from safety in a basically a vacuumous space zone.
Yeah. I mean, there's no getting out. There's no rescue teams. There's no finding your body. There's no nothing. And, you know, I talked to him because I did his course. And he says, you know, do you want to progress to the next stage? I said, I don't really have the money. He goes, you know, if you want to get the money, the biggest thing he told me is, you know, if you think about it, I'm going to be doing this. And he still does. He says, you have to be very comfortable and fully accepting the fact that there's a very real chance you won't come back.
Yeah.
And I said, I really want to come back. He says, don't do it. Just flat out, if there's even a shred in your mind that you want to come back, don't do this. And he was very honest and very realistic about it. And I said, well, I'm not going to do it. And I never did. Because a lot of people, what happens is they want to go back. And that's when mistakes start happening. And he always explained it like this. It's basically like any funnel you can find at the store, but much more extreme. It starts off very flat, and this is where the stress goes. And then it comes down to a very finite point. And no matter how hard you try to get out of it, you're going to reach a certain point on that funnel. There's no coming back. You're just going down the funnel, and that end of the funnel is death.
So what is but you turn around and go back, though.
You can. So if you're at the flat part, you're like, oh shit, this is bad. Oh shit, the current's picking up. Oh crap, we need to turn the engine on. The engines are on full. You can get back. But if you go down a certain point and there's no equipment, there's no spaceship on the face of the planet that can get you out from the bottom of that funnel, and 90% of that funnel is that point of no return.
Yeah, I mean, that's what true adventure is about. It's about accepting that you could very likely die and still going for it. And I think that's what the adventurous spirit's all about. And I see it. And when I see it in people, I get so excited. I'm like, wow, that person right there, just balls to the wall. It doesn't matter. They'll go do it, even if they could die, and they don't care. And they got a smile on their face. It's like that. For me, it's what being a hero is all about. The essence of just like, let's ride or die, you know. And I want that to spread with people. I want more people to be about that. Not just like throwing your life away, but not being so afraid of everything that you won't live.
So are you riding with Biden or not?
Who's Biden?
Joe Biden.
Oh, the corpse.
Yeah.
I don't do politics. I'm an
The
anarchist.
first debate is September 28th. I want to fire up the smoker for that one. It's gonna. You need to see this. I mean, of all the shitty presidential debates ever, this has got to be the worst one, ever.
Another card to play. Another thing in the book of let's make everyone pay attention. Listen here, everyone. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Stop what you're doing. Stop what
Kanye
you're
shows
doing.
up.
It's the big show. It's the biggest show in the world. Donald
I
Trump
would love Kanye to be there.
Donald Trump went and did. What do you call it?
America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent, did the TV show The Boss, the WWF. He went into
The
show
Apprentice.
business. He went into show. He said, "You know what? I'm going to go to show business. Let's try show business. How do I get to all the people? Show business. They love him." So he went in, and he went all the way. And the biggest show on earth is the one that we're witnessing. It's the biggest show on earth.
Shit show.
It's a total
biggest
shit
show
show.
on
It's
earth.
not real. It's a fantasy. And I keep telling people this, and they don't want to accept it. Anybody who believes that politics truly decides anything is a child. They don't understand that it's all a joke. None of it's real.
And I think a lot of people are stuck on the side that are not with him. There was a lot of people who were still believed in the system and those things like that. I think a lot of minds have been awoken. A lot of realizations have been made. How did this man get into power? A lot of realizations have been made, and that's good. I think it's balanced things out a bit more. I think that's what's happening. It's a balance shift.
I mean, we have a guy like Donald Trump with the nuclear launch codes that we know, but when Biden had him on live TV, national TV, during a speech, he goes, yeah, and I'm very important, because I don't remember the exact words, but basically the gist of it was, I'm very important, and I always have the nuclear launch codes with me. As a matter of fact, that guy right there has the briefcase with the launch codes. Pointed that guy out.
If everyone knows that.
No, pointed the dude out. That's the guy right there with the nuclear launch codes on live TV. And it's like, is that really the best thing to do?
It wasn't the guy with the nuclear launch codes. It wasn't. It couldn't have been.
It's a psyop.
Yeah, it's a total psyop, and it's just like Trump
Yeah.
saying any of the off-the-cuff things that he says. Like, oh, it was just a joke, and it better have been a joke. And if not, like, okay, what's the guy with the nuclear launch codes just doing standing in your rally? Like, why is he there? He should be in the bunker.
You know how easy it is to just switch that guy out.
Yeah.
It's literally that quick. To
And,
switch
okay,
that guy out.
these days, with the amount of
Hello, Mr.
technology
President,
they
my
have...
name is John. I'm the new guy. My name is John. Mr. Johnson.
What happened to
Call me Mr.
Kelly?
Johnson.
What happened to Kelly? Oh, he cyanide explosion.
Yeah. But it goes back to, my buddy was working at the sardine factory one night. And
It goes back to my buddy who worked at a sardine factory.
No,
the
I mean-
nuclear launch codes goes back to this.
Yeah, no. And so Leon Panetta,
My big pickup truck. What's up?
Leon Panetta, when he was the head of the CIA, a few other top government officials were there. They shut down Foam Street. They shut down Cannon Row. They shut down part of Lighthouse. Just shut down. Don't drive through here. There's no access. Don't even look at this place. Shut it down. Then he said Joe Biden might show up. If Joe Biden, when he was the vice president, they would have shut down Del Monte. They would have shut down entirety of Lighthouse. They would have shut down all the way to David Avenue. They would have shut down 68. They would have shut down a lot of streets. No access, no notice, no nothing. If he decided that night to maybe show up to dinner. And there's no warning. He didn't even know when he came into work. He just came to work like, this is what you're doing. And he's like, all right, get a good tip. Whatever. But it's just like they would have literally shut down Monterey at a drop of a hat. And this is like June or July or something. Just like, don't come down here. Everybody leave. Get out.
All right, so you're saying people are waking up and they're seeing the systems all falling apart. Where do we go from here? Like, what is the choice of, do we all join Antifa? Or like, is that
Start over.
What are the choices with people? Like, where are they going to go in their minds? Like, if you're going to say, okay, the government's disappearing, in your mind, what are you reaching for help? Where's the community at? Where's your friends and family? Oh, well, we're all bunkered up. Everybody's got COVID. You can't talk to anybody within 3 feet, 6 feet. You don't talk. No, we don't speak anymore. I don't even know my neighbors' names. I don't even know if they're alive or dead. They could have been dead day one in COVID. And who cares? I'm fine watching fucking Lion King or whatever the fuck it is, Tiger King. Just like.
Oh God.
Poor Mufasa. He wasn't killed by wildebeest. There's Joe Exotic.
He reeled in like a bass so tight. That's like, what did he do? Tiger King. Oh, forgot about that. That was just fire.
I'll never forget about Joe Exotic.
That was very funny.
That was a fast phase though. The Tiger King was here. And
I never watched a single second of it. Like, people tell me about it, and I'm like, I'm
You should.
so glad I missed that
You
side
should.
out.
You should. You know why? Because it's no. You should. You very much should, because not everybody watched it and you think it's psyop and everyone watched it, so maybe. But it is a very interesting look. It covers a lot of topics, man. It covers drugs, it covers homosexuality, suicide, it covers the engagement of animals. There's a lot in there. There's a story about that. There's a lot about that, and it's very, very interesting, and it's worth watching.
Literally, Trump said we're going to look into it.
I heard that the woman who killed
worth
her
watching.
ex-husband, and
Go
there's
watch
like
it.
literally so much evidence, went to Trump
That bitch
at
killed
the
Baskin.
White House and said she wants a pardon for it or some shit.
No, she killed a dude, and everyone on Earth is going, "You killed that dude." Everyone who's watched it, everyone who watches this fucking thing, looks at that woman and goes, "You killed that guy. You killed that guy." And this dude, he's a little crazy and he's a little fucked up. But you know what? He tried, and some bad shit happened. And I think the majority of people would actually be like, he deserves to not be in jail, maybe or maybe not. It's very difficult to say. Some
He
people swing one way,
deserves to
some
be there.
Yeah.
And that's again, that's another card, another fucking thing in the book. Because everyone pay attention. Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
We're letting him out of jail. People will go, what? Forget. And Antifa, Black Lives Matter, forget this, forget that. But there's only so many things people got time for in the day, and if they just keep adding things on top that people get enraged about, people will forget, and time rolls on. Oh, the election say, oh wait, what happened? Who won? Oh damn.
What's the
And it's
attention
over.
span now of like people? Is
Squirrel.
it less than 7 seconds?
Yeah,
I mean,
it has to be.
3. It's 3. Google proved it mathematically. If the YouTube video doesn't start within 3 seconds, 50% of the audience will leave. And that was like 5 years ago. It's much higher now. If the YouTube ad doesn't start, whether it's an ad or the video itself with paid ads in there, 3 seconds, that's your window. And it's true.
It is. You have to be grabbed right away. I've noticed on my videos on Instagram, if I don't say something or do something wild within the first second, like you have to do whatever you can to grab people, then like it'll be gone.
According to Microsoft, the average human being now has an attention span of 8 seconds.
Average. In America, it's probably like Preston said, 3.
At best.
In Ethiopia, it's probably still 5 minutes. But who knows? And why is that? And what can we do about it? Like, that's why I put this post up today about how, like, you're sitting down for sex, you're sitting down for shopping, you're sitting down for getting married, you're sitting down for your exercise, you're sitting at a screen, It's like, is this what really we want? But this is where it's going. And if we just allow this to keep happening, it's just going to be such the norm that even the people that disagree with it or do have a different lifestyle are gonna die completely alone or neglected or just, old folks home, just erased by Cuomo. Who knows? It's just, we have to start doing things that we love and defending them and not backing down. Because if I know anything about an entropic system or these systems where, they want to get people into a groove, like you were saying, how can we get people to pay attention to this, like, it's Pavlovian stuff. It's like all this time. We can figure out what makes the human being tick. And we need to reverse it, because what really makes people tick is connection. It's being in love. It's being physical. It's like getting really involved. It's like your mind is the biggest erogenous zone of pleasure, and like getting into the things that really make us tick. What's really in this life for us? Because otherwise, it's all gonna be down the fucking singularity, Ray Kurzweil shoot. We're all gonna upload ourselves to fucking, to the grid, and we're all gonna be the hive mind, And like at best, that's where it could go. And I think a lot of people already are. Like when I watch some of these episodes of Black Mirror, and I see where they're the headspace of some of these things, and I see other people like they're living it now. Black Mirror isn't a fucking joke. It's happening. When I think about all these black budget projects we were talking about last episode, layers between layers between layers between layers, there could be whole civilizations down there all living different lives, like in Fallout, different vaults with different social experiments, completely different outcomes that they want. And, it's like, whoa. So for me, and this is why I want to get back to what I was talking about with Germany and the masks and everything, like I have real anxiety about doing it. Like sometimes I feel like the weight of the world is really on my shoulders. Like it's really a life or death. It's a soul decision right now. Am I going to hell? Is this decision me complicit in something that I know is wrong? And I have these moments all the time, and like I see other people enjoying their Game Boys, whatever the fuck they're doing, and they just they don't give a fuck. They don't know anything. They don't care. And you tell them anything real, and it's just like, they make a 180 and they walk the other way, or they just say, you're fucking crazy, stop telling people disinformation or whatever, like shut the fuck up, man, it doesn't matter. It's like, I just want to know where the people are at, where are the real people,
An interesting nugget of information about Black Mirror is that, not a lot of people know this, that Charlie Brooker, who wrote it, he's an English writer, English comedian, he used to do panel shows in the UK. I grew up watching him on TV. I had a couple of his books. Charlie Brooker released the first few episodes in the first season of Black Mirror on Channel 4 in England in 2011. It was that long ago. So this whole thing that people are living now, it was put together, written by him and produced so long ago. The guy is like massively overlooked in the UK of being like, the guy's a genius. The guy's an absolute genius and saw a lot of this coming so long ago, man. He's super smart, and he doesn't get enough credit.
I heard that he actually hasn't released the new seasons because it's too spot on with what's going on. Like he just doesn't want to freak people way the fuck out.
Apparently so. I mean, what does that mean? He did an episode about a virus?
Maybe.
I guess that's what it is. And he's like,
didn't he do one already?
Huh?
There was one about a virus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe it's even more like just something
like a pandemic,
about.
like a
No, I
shutdown,
mean, I'm right
maybe it's
there.
like human slave system or lockdown or living in a box. Who knows? Whatever. I mean, too totalitarian, I guess, for people to handle right now. They don't need that right now, and that's a responsible thing. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, and there's always that movie Wall-E. One of the intro scenes is they have windmills on top of stacks of trash.
Yeah.
So it's already signed what they did was too late. Are we at the point of being too late? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Are we at the point of the critical change where we need to make it? Yeah.
Yeah, you have to also remember as well with that is that a lot of the world-changing ending CO2 carbon emission, that agenda, whole thing, if you want to call it an agenda, or in either direction, pro or anti. You have to also weigh in, the science aspect is that science is just changing constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. It's also changing, always evolving to better and striving better and better and better. So
Right, there's that, but if you look at the green movement, the environmental friendly movement, this, that, when you look at it at a big scale, there's a lot of people making a lot of money. It's the same thing, Al Gore won a Nobel Prize for a PowerPoint, and then he took his private jet to and from there about CO2.
Yeah.
And then his mansion, if he's really, really worried about climbing ocean levels, why does he buy a bunch of oceanfront property on cliffs?
Well,
Yeah, and he stood to gain
because he's
huge
human.
amounts of money.
You know why? Because he's human, and he has
opposed
look, my
to-
jet has until they give me fucking until they release the UFOs and we can have these things that fly around. I don't have to burn jet fuel.
I mean, these days, what does Al Gore really have to do these days? He has to just get to places occasionally. But he has to take his private jet, private car, private this, private that, private security. I mean, it's just all against everything that they're trying to go out there and be green. It's like the plan that was introduced to literally tear down every building in New York and rebuild it to make it more green. How is that green?
Well, to be honest, we're building on rubble after rubble after rubble all the time. Like
that's right.
we're not really doing things like we could. Like we rebuild the old cities. Why? Just there's huge swaths of land where they could build huge brand new cities with the best technology possible. Everything like pre-built. You know.
But even then, what's eco about it? It's like look at
the
the eco resort they're putting on the beach in Monterey. How is any of that eco-friendly? You're destroying miles of beachfront property. You're bringing heavy cap machines. You're digging down. You're pouring concrete. You're doing this. You're doing that. You're destroying the fundamental ecosystem that is there. But it's going to be an environmentally friendly resort. You know, it's environmentally friendly. Not putting one there.
Battery going?
No. I'm just checking the volume levels of everybody.
Is that better?
Cause press and speak.
Yeah, is that better?
Got a sore throat anyway.
Yeah, it's like it's blowing you out.
You should have one of them toddies, bro. Make yourself a toddy. Especially you're talking now a lot, it will help, I'm telling you. You should. Or honey, or fucking you'll end up.
So where do you land on that front, Phil? Like, how do you feel about where we are technologically and how that affects people?
I mean, it's a total mixed bag, man. I mean, you have a lot of positive aspects of technology and you have a lot of negative aspects of technology. I feel like one of the big pitfalls we're getting into is really, really getting into a lot of negative aspects of technology right now, especially through social media and by not releasing episodes, all the Twitter rants. I mean, even just the fixation that we're all having with social media. I mean, every single day there's like a new hashtag, there's a new trend, there's a new filter, there's a new this. It's just like, how do you keep on top of that? And a lot of people, I feel like, are getting caught in that.
They take it too literally.
Yeah.
They take it too literally.
People need things to do.
Like, it's like every single day it's something new, and it's like, it's hard to get traction in 20,000 different things.
Yeah.
But every single day there's a new thing, and you haven't heard about this yet. It's just like, at a certain point, like, I mean, how does one person keep up?
I don't think you should.
I guess that's the kind of point. If you're an Instagram person, if you're an Instagram model, or you're an Instagram whatever, it's a job. It's still a job. It's this job that you have with you all the time, everywhere. It's a job. Job's hard. And that's what it is, right?
But still, I mean, I
It's
think
job for these people.
people take social media way, way too seriously. And they have for years, but it's getting to a point where
Because they get paid.
they confuse it with real life.
Yeah, because they get paid. It's a job. They ain't confused with it in real life. It's a job. When it becomes your job, you don't have to
but
go
it's
to
not
an
my
office.
job.
You don't have to go to a job. Because you don't take it as your job. These people.
Yeah, but
take-
how many people are really fully employed by social media? A lot. But it's
No
like,
one's employed by
but
social
no,
media. You have your own thing and you get
people are
sponsors, you
taking
get ads and you sell your
people
own
are
products.
taking fabricated social media as real life. This is reality. This is what it actually is.
I saw a fitness model today on Instagram. She has 7.4 million followers. She has her own brand. All of her is pictures of her stretching and like lifting weights.
Yeah, but that's
whatever.
not the point.
Right, now hang on, let me finish. She has her own brand. She's created her own brand. I think it was, I can't remember the name, Blessed or something, of protein powder and supplements. And she sells them through her Instagram. A link to her site where people can buy it and get it delivered to her house. She makes a revenue from that. She has 7.4 million followers. You have to take at least maybe 5% of those people are buying that product. Of 7.4 million people, that's a lot of people buying your product for you just taking pictures of yourself. Ha 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 ha. That's a job though, but they're making hella money and the rest of the day they get to do whatever they want.
I think Preston's talking about like posts that people make and the anger that people get and like taking something way out of context and treating conversations not as they would if they were in real life. Like saying something to someone, there's no way in hell you would say that to Preston's face in real life. You would say it to them on the screen though, and like people take it too seriously and then people don't take it seriously enough at all, you know? There's no middle ground really. Like it's a huge open field, and I hear what you're saying and I agree. There are people who have to take it seriously because they're making money. This is their life. And so they're on there all the time and they're like religious about it because they have to. Because that's what they're doing.
Right. Are you more referring to people that see it like that, you know, like video game Second
Second Life.
Is that what you mean, like that? They have it like a separate persona like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not good overall. Just people, like I said, taking social media way too literally. It's just a magnified view. I mean, I don't take any TV show I see really seriously. It's not like this groundbreaking life performance. I mean, there's really good aspects to it. You can take a lot of good things, but I'm not going to be like, oh shit, this is how these people live 100% of the day, 24/7. No, it's just a little focused lens of a very minute reality that are people just taking and expanding it to absolutely everything.
But isn't it just the precursor to us living online, being jacked into the matrix and living, existing? It's an avatar. Years ago, when I needed money and I was in college, I was working in a pub, I studied music, I was involved, my friend Richard, he's an amazing guitarist, he plays great Les Paul, just a wicked guitarist, very blues based, rock and rolly, wicked, very heavy metal influence, so just a little lamb of God, he's great. Richard Secchi, his father died of COVID, actually, believe it or not. God rest his soul. His father died of COVID, and shit, the fuck that distracted me. What was I talking about?
That's a good question.
Being jacked up to the Matrix.
Thank you. No, I lost it. Never mind. I forgot what I was talking about.
Anyways.
Yeah, sorry, the Avatar thing. Sorry, his mother. We got us a job as part of this study in London, and we went in a basement somewhere in Covent Garden, and we did this study for people about how would we want an avatar. It was all about avatars. This was years before the movie. An online. This was like when MSN was early, and we got paid a shitload for doing it. We were there in there all day, and we had donuts and whatever. And it was about having your own three-dimensional. We had like the little suit with the little ping pong balls in it. A three-dimensional version of yourself. You could see it on screen. You had to rate it. It was like a 3-day thing. And social media was just the way drawn back, easier, step by step, slowly, the human as a race has to be influenced, slowly drip-fed information because the brain can't handle it because people are stupid and wild and just, uncontrollable. Like apes, they're just uncontrollable. You never know en masse, so you have to drip-feed them information. So social media is basically a drip-fed version of us eventually being plugged in and we're living in a three-dimensional space.
Right, so everything's prepping us, or the big tech companies are doing whatever stimulus they need to actually help us with our reactions and the media that we create and interact with to help build the virtual space in which we will eventually live. Because nothing will be safe with, here's how I see things going. I see things going where the technology is pretty much there, but they need to get the social acceptance. So they get COVID-1, or COVID-19, whatever you call it. And then people are more ready to go into the virtual spaces through endless calls on Zoom, whatever, what have you. And then they're gonna get the people really hyped up saying, oh, it's all fake and it's not real. And the people saying it's totally real. We need to shut everything down. And then they're gonna get enough people. They're gonna see where it's at. And then they're gonna release a real virus, something that's really scary, something where you really see dead people in the street. And then it's like, no, we're all getting the vaccine. There's going to be no one that says, oh, no, you know what, I'm not with it, because they're going to see dead bodies piling up, And then it's just like everybody gets the vaccine. That's the one step that it really needs to take. And then there's the chips in the vaccine. And then pretty much society will be hugely cold. I'm thinking within a year, they could be 100 million dead. And something like that.
That's a possibility.
That's a possibility, but think about it. And then the next year, maybe there's another one and another one. There's a constant biotax, constant fear. And then the only safe place that there is would be virtual spaces. And then they already have everything linked up. They have the tech. They just release it and say.
That's what you push everybody inside, and the mind is ready to be inside.
Yeah, they're already ready. They're already terrified for years and years.
I completely agree with you. And to tie a knot to the other thing we talked about earlier is how do you stop global warming basically overnight? Just make everyone go inside. Look at LA. LA had the cleanest air in the world when lockdown first happened. It was just completely open and clear.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. For a little minute, that's nuts. What? LA just went, all the cities went, all the clouds went away and everything was open and bright and sunny. For the first month or so of lockdown, things were just clear, breath, the air was fresher, everyone
And there were no chemtrails in the sky either.
There was, there was that too. We were talking about it before.
So I was really happy about that, just because you never saw sky so fucking clear, which made everything better, which made everything brighter. The ocean was much greener and bluer, and you could see the lights off, and everything was just whoa, this is what life could really be.
But then you get so you be pushed forward the electric cars. So if you want to go in and go that way, you can. You want to stay out. It's all electric. It's clean. People are on a different diet. The world has to exist differently. They have to exist, I guess, in tandem, right? The online world and the offline world. Or just, you can't force everyone inside and everyone jacking and just stay there. Because you're a system. We've got to go to the bathroom. Dusting's got to be done. Things have got. There's fires. Things have got to be dealt with. So the two have to be dealt with in symbiosis, right? And then eventually there'll be a sort of that magic trick when somebody takes a card and just and switches it to your card,
right?
Like makes it look like it's molding into one thing, two things molding into one. That has to happen at some stage, and it's whether, we're just, I guess, like Elon Musk is already trying to bring us there. It's already in us. But then there will be a point, who knows, millions of years from now, when life is born and a natural birth, a natural electronic online, and the thing will just be part of your genetic makeup. It will just become it.
Do you think that's millions of years away?
Who knows? So it's probably quite a facetious number, but who knows? Whatever the number is,
Yeah.
It might as well be a million because we don't know. You know what I mean? Someone knows. We don't, and it might as well be a million. There's that saying. My dad goes over it all the time. It was like 10, 15 years ago. Someone said the first human being to live to 1,000 years old has already been born. That's just like it's the well-known saying, a fact or whatever.
Wow.
1,000 years old?
I believe it was. Let me double check on that.
It's very possible. Through life extension technologies and whatever, and then you have to answer what is living. If their consciousness is uploaded,
Right.
And then how do you judge time after that? If your consciousness is uploaded to a virtual space and you compress time and you live 1,000 years in 1 microsecond with a hybridized hive mind quantum computer, you literally live all the 20 million people's lives who have been uploaded in that millisecond, in every single experience, whatever, uploaded.
Well, I mean,
you remember Aubrey de Grey?
Yep.
He was on the Rogan podcast.
Life extension.
Aubrey de Grey is a Cambridge researcher, and they're working with Google, and they're on a project to slow the aging process, and researchers think it's possible that the first person to live to 1,000 has already been born.
Yeah.
They're already alive today.
Yeah.
Whoever that person is, they exist already.
Yeah. But, I mean,
Which means it will take them, what's that?
Yeah.
What do most people want to live at forever? Or to live long, like...
Depends on how they're
physically.
living for that time. If you're an old, decrepit person, probably not. You don't want to live forever. But if you can be in a 21-year-old's
That's the point.
body for fucking 1,000 years...
That's the point. Which means, does that mean they're only 20 years away from... Mathematically, does that mean, if you break it down, does that mean they're only 20 years away from making that a possibility? When you look at things like Neuralink, well, now that you've got Neuralink and people have accepted it, we're coming out with the new Tesla, everything. A new Tesla,
Yeah.
It's just called
Tesla augmentations.
and you just
Tesla
and you're there, like you're there in physical space. The Matrix. He is like he's the Elon Musk is the face of when you go to the machine world, the Matrix. Like it's him. It's the machine guy. It's Musk. It's him in a bazillion years from now.
I mean, especially with the amount of testing that there is nowadays. I mean, there's so many of these different. You can see on Facebook. I mean, I've seen at least a dozen different types of companies that you spit in a jar or something.
Yep.
And well, this is your exact diet plan, or this is your exact
DNA, or where you're from.
Your genealogy. There's just so many different things you can get tested nowadays. I mean, they're even trying to break down what your favorite of wines or favorite chocolates would be based on your DNA. So it's just like when you start hearing stuff like that, you're just like,
They know you can find anything about yourself.
If you believe the test.
if you believe the test.
Because they can just sell you a bag.
Yeah.
So,
but why? What do they have to gain? What do they have to lose to lie? Number one. Number two.
Well,
surely these things are tested, and surely there's I mean, I've never been to the factory. Have you? Like where do they
it's just
do?
one big-ass scam.
Where's the lab? It could be a big scam, like you're saying. But wouldn't it be in the interest of humanity and for science because they can surely do that? So wouldn't it be in the interest to collect everyone's data and just research and keep grouping people into groups? The majority of people like this, the majority of people like that. It's another form of control. The majority of people are allergic to this. The majority of people are allergic to that. You know
a
what I mean?
lot of people are allergic to lactose. That's been coming up a
huge.
lot out of nowhere.
Almonds too.
I didn't know that.
I missed the gluten allergy phase.
It's glyphosate. You're not allergic to gluten. You're allergic to
Oh,
glyphosate.
gluten's good for you. Look at that. But yeah, I mean, we have these diet trends. It goes through cycles, and there's new diet trends. Back in the 90s, it was trans fats. Then it was carbs, and they came out with Coke Zero, and Coke Zero tastes like shit.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what people are so
All
afraid
diet
of
soda
about
tastes
bubbles.
like vomit. I don't care who you are.
Get rid of it.
This is worse than
Get rid of
And it makes you fat.
Get rid of all soda and get rid of all You know what? Let's not even go there yet. Let's just start with cigarettes. Let's start with cigarettes. Get rid of cigarettes.
That's even worse.
Get fucking rid of cigarettes. Enough with the cigarettes. Forget
No.
it. Get rid of them.
Yeah.
Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. And if you want, you make it universal law. If you want to smoke cigarettes, you're only allowed to smoke it on your goddamn property. If that's what it has to be, you're only allowed to smoke it on property.
What if they made a law that you can't make an alcohol that can't get you like completely blacked out?
An alcohol that doesn't make you blacked out.
Yeah.
I mean, alcohol is very different. You're not. With alcohol, you're not particularly invading someone's space. Like if
you are.
If you're,
you are.
hang on. If you're drunk and you're in someone's space, there's ways of dealing with that. I don't know. Oh, hang on. I got to think about that.
I mean, blackout is it's purely about the percentage or volume of alcohol that you're in.
You're taking in. Yeah. You
So
like
that's mainly like,
it's a
I mean,
product.
I
You
made the
like
point
that
because,
cigarette.
like, somebody who loves to smoke cigarettes or whatever, like, if they may smoke pure tobacco that has no anything bad in it, and then, like, I'm just saying that because you're in the liquor business, so just to even it out a little bit to see how you feel about that. But personally, I think everybody should be able to do whatever the fuck they want as long as it doesn't hurt another person or take anything away from them.
But you don't think that like people who smoke cigarettes in their cars with their children?
Oh, that's harming the children. They can't do that.
Well, yeah, but people do that.
Yeah, so they
People
shouldn't be allowed
smoke
to.
around other children. People smoke around other people.
Yeah.
If you drink around other people, it doesn't necessarily harm other people. If they drink too much and make harm, that's a different story.
Yeah, no,
It
I'm
doesn't
totally
harm other
with
people,
you.
You harm yourself.
Totally with you.
Smoking harms everybody who's inhaling it around you.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you.
Producing a toxic smelling, gaseous fucking smoke vapor that is just infects everyone's psychology and feelings and smell. And different level of psychology, your taste, you can taste it, it makes you feel physically sick. It produces a chemical reaction, multiple chemical reactions in your body that make you feel horrible because that person is, death, I love death. I know it kills me, but death is awesome. Fuck everybody else. I smoked for years, bro, roll up cigarettes myself, like a crackhead. I'd smoke 100 cigarettes a day, just roll them, smoke them everywhere, and like, now if someone is driving in front of me with a cigarette, I've got to change lanes. I can't smell it. I can't be behind someone smoking a cigarette in their car. Like, it produces like a gag reflex. It makes me sick. It's horrible, man. Let's start there. Like, get rid of all cigarettes. There's no reason. There's no
Well, that's
reason
just trying to police people's lives. That's just trying to police people's lives.
And we're not doing enough of that these days.
Fine, but if you want to smoke, you can only smoke on your property. You can't walk down the street.
What if it's public property?
I mean, the smoke's
I don't think so.
gonna travel.
Now is a public citizen.
No,
You
I
don't have
don't think
access to public property.
Weigh in, audience. Should people be allowed to smoke? Like, comment, and subscribe now.
Don't forget to share.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah, I like that. Where are we at? Almost 2 hours. It's good.
Oh shit. We still got the batteries.
Yeah.
So, it looks at, patrolling people's lives, trying to create more regulations, more rules, more this, more that. And a lot of that just creates the opposite animosity and a lot of people, for the vast majority of the part, whenever there's a new rule, however good or bad it may seem, you're just going to get people that go against it. Then you have to keep putting more and more and more energy and effort into enforcing the rule. And at the end of the day, if you just didn't fuck with it, you probably would have been much better off. Stop fucking with it.
Well, there's a thing about the tobacco companies putting 5,000 chemicals in one cigarette, It's like, that should not be allowed. If you smoke cigarettes, fine. But 5,000 chemicals, including windshield wiper fluid and all kinds of crazy ass shit, it's like, what the fuck? Like, they're literally putting every chemical that they can't dispose of in the industrial mechanization, whatever they're doing. It's like, put it in the fucking Marlboros, dude. Marlboro 100s, they love that shit.
Yeah.
All this toxic waste, I got a place for it. Yeah, I'll buy that up. Yeah. Nice little sprinkle on that crack. Smoke it up.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes with, just about everything. I mean, it's like, if you're mining and you get a bunch of extra cyanide, don't dump it in the river. Right? And, that's just general. And, I don't know the exact mechanics of it, but I mean, is cyanide really that necessary in mining? Like, what does it realistically do? I mean, people have been mining and digging for shit for thousands of years, and all of a sudden now we got to start using cyanide? Like, is it just because you're trying to kill absolutely everything within 100 miles? Probably.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I never heard of that. That's crazy.
And
Yeah.
just use cyanide just to wipe out, just burn.
They just show up with a drum of cyanide.
Is that when they do like the
Like a fire
fracking? Like,
retardant?
Like, is it like
Yeah.
a solid? Is it a gas? Is what are they
Liquid.
using?
Like if you ever go to big mining sites, there's entire lakes of just cyanide lakes.
What?
Okay, so but are you saying that they're bringing cyanide?
Yeah.
Or it's a byproduct of what they're doing?
No, they're
A little bit
spraying
of both.
cyanide. Right. Oh, fine.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I
Oh,
mean,
So they're spraying cyanide, or are they spraying?
they
cyanide?
got to kill everything.
So they're using cyanide to spray.
but what's in there? Are we talking like
what are we
biological?
killing? I thought they're just cutting rock.
Yeah, but we got to kill everything.
But what's in there?
What's in there to kill?
I don't know, anything and everything.
Rock demons.
I mean,
Well, I
what,
guess
is
roots.
this going to be protozoa? I mean,
Roots, trees, new growth, new this,
trees
new
and
that.
rocks?
I mean, yeah, you ever look at a mining site in the middle of the forest and the mining site's completely barren? It's not because they're sitting there scraping the moss off the rocks every single day.
I mean, they're
I thought it was
setting
because
up-
they're setting off explosions constantly.
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
they have big machines, but they fucking
Yeah,
use cyanide.
but if you have a mining site for 10 years, that's great. But if you even look at World War II sites where it got shelled to shit, there's still going to be no new growth, new plant growth within a matter of a couple weeks.
what are you even mining for? Are you just going for surface level mining?
No, we're going deep level, different levels
why
of
would
mining.
we
There's
learn
levels
about
to this shit,
trees?
Phil.
How deep down do the trees go?
how much
Lot.
cyanide? How much
Fern
cyanide do
Gully
you
now.
need?
There's things
This is
down
Fern
there.
Gully, man.
There's people down there.
Fern Gully, which is also Avatar, Pocahontas,
Yeah.
and a bunch of
All of it. It's all recycled.
It's called strip mining. You want to strip the land of everything. You want to make the land absolutely worthless. What if you have a bunch of really good land that nobody wants to get rid of? Well, we got to make it worthless. Strip it out.
Okay. New subject. I watched this video. It's called the Egg Theory, and it's like this animated short, and it's about this guy. He dies in a car accident. He's just a normal guy. He's got a wife and kids and all that. Blah blah blah. And he dies, and he wakes up in this space, this cosmic space. There's this other dude there. He's like, "What happened?" He's like, "You died, bro." It's like, "What do you mean I died?" He's like, "Yeah, you got hit by a truck, man. You're done." It's like, "My family," and he's like, "Yeah, hey, your family's okay. They'll be, your wife didn't really love you," and like they're just being real with him. And he's like, "Oh shit." It's like, "Yeah, dude, you'll forget about all that. Don't worry." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Well, what happens now?" He's like, "Well, you're gonna go right back." Go right back where? Right back to the planet. And he's like, "Well, so is this heaven?" He's like, "Yeah, kind of like heaven." And then he's like, "Well, what's the meaning of it all? What does it all mean? What's it all about?" And he's like, "Wait a minute, are you God?" And he's like, "Yeah, you could say I'm God. Okay, I'm God. I created you. I created everything. It's like, so what does it mean?" And he says, "Well, I'm going to send you back, and you're going to be a Chinese woman in 54 AD or something like that." And he's like, "Wait a minute, you're going to send me back in time?" He's like, "No, there is no time." And he's like, "But how? What do you mean? Like, if I die now, don't I go to the next, somewhere in the future?" He's like, "No, none of that's real." It's like, "You're the same Asian woman back then, and you're that person that just died." It's like, "Well, how many people am I?" And he's like, "You're all the people. All the people that exist is you. You're all of them. You're the only person in this universe. And you're here to live every single life. You were Hitler. You're all the people Hitler killed. You're, Mother Teresa, and you're all the people Mother Teresa saved, and all that. You live from every single perspective until the end of time. And then once you get to the end of time and you've lived all those lives, from the smallest insect to the biggest whatever, then you're ready to become a god like me. And then you'll join my universe. And then there's a set of experiences that you'll live there, and then you'll go on to the next." So I really love this. It was really super deep. It was crazy.
I fuck with that. That's
Yeah,
great.
it's called The Egg. See it on YouTube. And I want to know what you guys think about that, because I often think about the afterlife and karma and dharma. Karma being what you experience because of what you did, and dharma being your life path based on what you have done already, and so like what you're here to experience. So, Alex, would you like to start where you're at with that? Like on the matter of resurrection, or on karma and dharma and all that stuff.
Oh, someone else is going to take that one. 'Cause
Okay,
I just talk
Phil?
too much. I'll get lost in the fantasy of the massive question that you basically asked me.
I'd
the
like to
only
watch
question.
the video first to weigh in, as
Okay.
opposed to like what really is going on with it, because now you got me all stoked on it.
Okay.
I mean,
Me too. I sound stoked. The question he basically asked is like when he said, "Where do you stand on it?" He's like, "What's your opinion on
the meaning of life.
the meaning of life?" I'm like, "Oh, someone else take that. I'm good."
they made a
Yeah.
whole movie about that. But it realistically goes back to just honestly the Plato's allegory of the cave.
Well, yeah. So that you're talking about the shadows on the cave wall and like them thinking that that's their real life. That's what's really going on, but it's not. It's just the projection.
And then there's that light there, but we got to always stay away from the light. And some people go towards the light, but they never go through the light. And occasionally that person just goes to the next cave and they find out it's the exact same thing, just continuously. Now there might be some slight variations, but it just the continuous and endless cycle. There's always another cave with always more light, and there's always more shadows. But you can always move to the next cave, or you can stay exactly where you are. Now, there's nothing stopping you from moving to the next cave.
Except for your belief and fixation on the shadows,
Yeah.
thinking that that's the only thing that's real.
Right. But nobody can ever drag you to the next cave. You have to go on your own free will, essentially.
You have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
So are you saying that's what the allegory of life is in general, that the afterlife is simply the end of the shadows and coming back to the source of the light?
Well, I mean, there's no perspective on life in that. I mean, well, I guess, the whole allegory of the cave is life in itself. I mean, it's learning, but because it doesn't end, can you really ever stop learning? Is there really ever an end to anything?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, there is the end, but it keeps going. Like, I keep going back to this circle, the idea of the circle. We talked about this last episode. It's like, it's a circle. Where's the beginning? Where's the end? There is none. It's just a continuum. And I see it as a spiral. So if you look at it top down, it looks like a straight circle. There is nothing changing about it. But if you look at it from the side view, it's like a DNA strand. And you can see all the different points. But then even that would curve back down to a point where you could not tell if it was a circle or if it was just another strand. It's all about your perspective about where you are, zoomed in or zoomed out. For me, it goes forever in, forever out, as above, so below. The rules don't really change. It's just the level at which you're seeing it from, And it's like, it's building. Like, you start with one block and then you get two, and it's like the flower of life, the circle of life. It starts with one, it repeats itself, keeps building. And then it like separates, and it's like a protozoa or an egg, and it splits, and then it keeps going and going and going and going and going and going. If you take down to one point, you'll realize that point is the same as every other, only in perspective. It's like the fractal universe idea, where everything in its smallest part is the same as its largest part. So it's like the most mind-blowing thing ever, and to wrap your mind around it's like not really possible. And I think that's the whole point of being in this realm, is like, you can't really ever hold it all in your mind, but you can live the best you can. You can live within the paradox.
I look at it as upon a big empty black space, and there's a 3-dimensional cube. Let's just say cube. Actually, I see it as a rectangle.
The one they found.
Yep.
A 3-dimensional rectangle. And it's like a skeleton, so you can see through all sides of the square. And it's like there's like an invisible force field. It's like a glass cube almost. And in there is empty space, and there is millions and millions, as many as you can think of, tiny little rubber bouncy balls, and they're all just going pew, 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 off each other in all different directions, constantly just firing everywhere in all directions. And when you really zoom into the little balls, there's things, there's life, and there's the universe, and you can, whatever it is, just all things, all matter, all energy, everything's in this space, bouncing around, and that's what this is. And you just look at it, and you go, that's what it is. That's what everything is. That's how I perceive.
So it's like a solid object with everything bouncing.
No, it's
off
just
of
in
it?
terms of shape. It's just how I like. When you're like, how do we take it in? How do we visualize what everything is? From the smallest atoms to the fractals to all these layers, all these multiple layers of everything. Oh, just everything. Like, it's just all these millions of little bouncy. That's the way I perceive it. In space and time, I see it as just a 3-dimensional cube with a million bazillion bouncy balls just bouncing around everywhere, and it's just pure chaos, and it's life, and it's what it is. It is what it is, and as much as you try to make it all go in the same universal direction, like a Windows 95 logo on a screensaver on a computer, there's just bouncing around, and everyone's waiting for a DVD to get to the corner. Everyone's shutting it, yeah, right. Awesome. That if you want to make it that, it's boring, it's mundane, and it's robot, and it's nothing. But that's not what life is. Life is everything. And it's millions and billions of like things bouncing around at all times, in all spaces, in all directions. And you can't control it, because it's just life, and you have to accept what it is. As much as you want to try and control things, you can't. And things just are what they are, and you have to accept reality rather than try to escape from it. But there are ways to escape from it, and that's okay. But as a whole, not just certain pinpoint aspects of things. If people go to a bar or go to a bakery and get their little cake, or wherever they go to get their little escape, that's fine. Or go for a run at the beach, it doesn't matter.
Well, there's no escaping it. There's getting to a point where you
accept.
Accept, but
what it is, it's accept.
you get
do
to a
something
point.
else to divert your brain in a
you
happy direction.
you can believe that you're not being affected by it. Like if you get super drunk, like you can think reality is not no longer affecting you, or you don't care about it affecting you, but it still is.
I'm using escapism as to point yourself in the direction of happiness, because if you accepted the negative, I'm going to suck it in, I'm going to center my compass back to middle, and I'm going to take it back. I'm going to go, okay, that's what it is. I'm going to go do something happy to make myself feel better. That could be having a cake, having a beer, going for a run, playing a video game. It doesn't matter. That's what humans do. It's getting to the point of acceptance and planning for it and thinking as far ahead as you can possibly physically take yourself to see, without driving yourself crazy and just making yourself upset. You've got to back away. You've got to be able to look so far. Looking too far is not good for you. It just creates conjecture. Conjecture is basically irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's a waste of your time. There's only so far there's only a distance that you can control, and you have to exist within that. There's certain steps you can see. You know, what's that saying? You can try and be like a carpenter who builds stairs. You always have to try and see one step ahead. But you can only go so far. If you try and go too far, you make yourself crazy. Mm-hmm. So try and find where that vibration point is, where you can just like, okay, there's the length of the things that I can control. I foresee my future existing this way. And if things come forward or backwards, and that line moves forward or backwards away towards me, and it gets crazier, here are the things I'm not going to do, and here are the things I am going to do. So you just try and see what's coming. You know what I mean? There's a point. Everyone's just got to find where that point is and just exist there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think if you exist there, everything will be alright. No matter what happens, everything will be alright.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe we're all tiny little snails on the back of a turtle, on the side of a frog, in the middle of a pond, in Narnia.
Narnia?
Yeah. Well, think it's your story.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, I often think about that too, like, given all the different ways that things could happen, like, you know, a supernova could happen right now, and literally this entire solar system erased. You know, and like I think about that sometimes, and then who would be the wiser? The human race ever existed? Like, does it even matter? You know, but then I also think I have to keep my world small to the point where it's meaningful enough. You know, because if I expand it so huge that like all in relativity, none of my life decisions make any difference or have any meaning. No, can't be that big. My mind has to be able to go there, but keep it within my family, my friends, the things that I can affect in the world. Not make it too small where I'm not paying attention to the world. A balance, like you say, a point where you can be happy, but you're not also ignoring the things that are around you and not saying that those don't matter. Finding a good balance between your own sanity and health, but also being a force for good for the change that you want to see.
It's that moment, it's the pivotal moment. It's pushing oneself to understand the pivot between this is really hard, I don't want to deal with this, to acceptance, to moving on, and it's not a problem anymore. And even if it is still a problem, you learn how to deal with it, and you just keep going in that direction. That's all it's about. It's about pivot. That's what life is about, I think. And you asked before, like, what's the point in life? It's almost like Preston pulling up in his truck with his what's it called? With his handbrake. Pivot. Let's just go this way. Fine. Never mind. Next. It's good. Next.
I mean, I don't have a handbrake.
Acceptance. It's a very powerful tool that Preston is very mastered at.
Really?
It's acceptance. I think so. I've lived with him for a minute. Acceptance is very interesting. It's very powerful. Changes everything.
Well, how much do you want to accept, and how much do you reject, though? Because if you keep accepting, you're going to be accepting a load of shit you do not really accept, or do not really want to see blossom into its full.
No, acceptance is not just agreeing. And let's be clear. Acceptance doesn't mean agreeing to everything. Acceptance is understanding that things are what they are. I accept something to be true, and you've got to push yourself to find out if it is that way or if it isn't that way.
Right. Agreed.
You have to do the research. You can't just. You have to accept once you feel like you've made a decision on something. You've got to accept it and stick to it, and that's it. That's your decision. Accept. Mm-hmm. And if somebody can feed you information that is more enlightening to you than your own thoughts. You have to accept that their opinion is not, I suppose, better than yours, or makes more sense to you than your own previous. Just accept it. Okay, what he said is, if someone says something that you know they've beaten you, whether it's about anything, not beaten, but you know what I mean? It's not necessarily a game to beat, but if someone's opinion on a topic is contrary to yours and you get stumped, you go, okay, yeah, you're right. Acceptance. I think the mastery is acceptance. Just taking the information, recentering it, and moving in a different. It's just three places. It's the information.
Right. So you're not just rejecting it out of hand because you're stubborn or because you don't really want to accept it. And once you see the validity of it, then don't hang on to your previous paradigm. Just accept it and move on, instead of holding on like nails bloody to the wall, because that's going to be a very bad trip.
Not good for you. It's just going to take too long, and there's going to be too much pain and hurt and heartache, and running around and smashing doors and causing pain and just feeling shitty and pumping your negativity onto everybody else and walking around with a sad face and slamming doors and shouting and screaming, whatever the fuck, whatever. Just being grumpy, putting black smoke into people, smoking cigarettes. I don't care. Nah, man.
Rolling coal.
Rolling coal.
The problem is people are really attached to their illusions. Really attached.
Yeah, but it's, you know what? You gotta let things go because it's gonna happen eventually. And the thing is,
never.
Nah.
Some people, it never happens, dude. I mean, I totally hear what you're saying. I totally hear.
You know what? I disagree. I think it always happens. I just think they don't know any other way to be. And inside, it's changed, but they'll continue their facade because they're stubborn, and they'll go. People always know. You can look someone in the eyes when you tell them something that they know is wrong, and you tell them, and you can see it. You can see a spark in someone's eyes, and you know, fuck you. You know. Even if they're stubborn and fuck you, you know you've got to them. You know they know, and you know they've changed their mind. You can tell. It's an extrasensory perception that all humans have.
Maybe, or they'll just kill you or kill themselves because they'd rather.
That's their choice.
They'd rather die.
That's their choice.
But what we're saying, there are those people who do live their whole lives without ever.
All right. Well, people. Someone today on the planet jumped off a building and then pulled the wrong cord and didn't pack his parachute and he hit the floor. Shit happens. That's life. That's what it is. It's a million balls bouncing around in a three-dimensional cube. Whatever, man. It is what it is. What can you do?
Well, what we're saying is that there will be people who will rather die or kill for their illusions.
Then that's their choice.
Yeah.
What can
and
you
I'm
do?
saying that's where we are for a lot of the people in the world today. Their illusions.
I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's what they do, and that's what they choose to do. And there's only so much help you can give them or offer them. There's only so many roads they have in front of them. There's only so many variables. There's only so many stories, and you don't know what's going on with their life. And there's just, like you say, many levels to reality. You know, my reality and your reality and his reality, and the guy who lives in Pebble Beach's reality to the guy who lives at the very eastern part of Seaside's reality are very, very different. They're very different. There's just levels, and we're all existing, like you said, in one time, in one space. It's just a million balls bouncing around in space. It just is. Everything, it just is. So just deal with it, take in information and move on, and just try and live a happy life. And just accept what sucks, because it sucks, and that's what it is.
Or overcome it and change it.
No, always overcome it. And I think you overcome in acceptance. There's the whole thing, the many layers of acceptance, and you go through grief and this and that, anger. The end point is acceptance. So surely just try to circumnavigate. I don't agree with the fact that you necessarily have to go through all the steps. It's just what naturally people go through all the steps. If you try and hack it and just go to the very bottom and go straight to acceptance, push yourself towards acceptance, you cut out all the bullshit. Bollocks. Just get over it. Wake up every day and just take a deep breath and deal with it. Just fucking deal with it. Get on with it. Just fucking get on with it. Stop moping about. It's a very English thing to say from where I'm from. Stop fucking moping about. Just moping about, oh, fucking poor me, this is shit. Everything's shit. Oh, fucking poor me, I'm in a pub. Bollocks, get on with it. Just fucking strap your boots up and get on with it.
Not the boots.
Not the boots, all the boots.
I got a lot of boots.
Well, pull them on, maybe. Pull on boots. Whatever,
No.
Just get on with it. Life sucks and you die. In Puerto Rico, in La Fortaleza, it's the most amazing, beautiful stone fort in San Juan. Hopefully one day I can take you guys over there. I'm not going to tell you the whole story because I'll be here for hours. But it's a very incredible strategic military position where their cannons can fire basically further than anybody else's. So it was like the Falklands War with the English. Our cannons can fire 5 miles, yours can fire 3. So we just shell the hell out of you when you get to in the middle gap, whatever. No one took Puerto Rico. The Spanish just had it. Like, nope, ours. Like the British put their flag in there for like 6 days or something.
Isn't it the U.S. now?
Yeah, then the US came, but that's the end of the Spanish-American War. So it was one of the last bastions, 1898, the end of the Spanish-American War. Puerto Rico just went, nope, can't have it. It's crazy. Anyway, in the Fortaleza, in the holding cells, it's really crazy how it's designed, and you can see how this used to live as soldiers. They used to have to wear their like overalls, their Spanish military overalls at this time in Puerto Rico. They were made of denim, heavy, thick, white denim. So you're out in the sun and the heat in Puerto Rico. It's a nightmare. I'm telling you, it's a nightmare to wear thick denim like that. And you used to sleep on wood, just a wooden plank basically as a bed, with a wool like pullover. This is Puerto Rico in the Caribbean in the northern heat. You don't want any of these things. And their shoes are only one size, and they're not left or right. It's just a shoe, and they're made of wood. And you get like 4 bullets, and that's about it. That's your life, and you're living in this stone fort. Mental. But in the prison, in the holding cell, there's a picture of the Pinta de Niña de Santa Maria, which are the 3 ships that Columbus sailed on to get to the Caribbean, right? There's a carving in the wall. It's like the first bit of graffiti you've ever seen. It's fucking dope as shit. If you know anything about graffiti and hip hop, you trace your roots back to Puerto Rico, do your research. These carvings of all these 3 ships, and it basically says in Spanish, I can't remember the quote, I'll have to find it. It says basically in Spanish, life's a bitch, then you die. It was carved in like 1497 by some Spanish dude in a jail cell in Puerto Rico. Just sitting there and go, fuck, he just carved, life's a bitch, then you die in Spanish. Wicked, man. That's it. Like, just accept it. Anyway.
That's a pretty awesome story.
Anyway, someone change the subject.
Phil, you got something for us?
Unless you want to talk
So
about
4th of July Fourth of July is fucking wild. Just the weeks of endless fireworks nationwide, and I think everybody just lit everything off. We still hear occasional mortars going off here and there, but not like it was. And I think it was like a month-long. I mean, when they really start, like April, just the endless volumes of fireworks, literally everywhere. It's like people are posting on Facebook, "Oh my God, did you hear the fireworks?" Like, yeah, everybody's fucking heard the fireworks. They're going off everywhere, and it wasn't just like a couple dudes. It was like everyone.
Everyone who had one.
Yeah.
Some people are not
for
allowed
weeks.
to destroy, right? So you get a chance to destroy something and it feels good. Yes, blowing things up. It's cool, it's pretty.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom's like, you guys can't shoot off any fireworks in LA. And LA's like, fuck you.
Well, it's a symbol of freedom in your country. They don't want people to feel free. They want them to feel enslaved.
Well, I mean, they're shooting fireworks off everywhere.
Well, what do you think about the $100 ticket, $100 fine for not wearing a mask in Monterey?
Capitalism.
Oh, yeah?
Trying to get money to keep the city going. This city survives 75% on the economy.
That's not capitalism.
75% of the economy survives on tourism in this town. It's been hit massively. Things are trying to keep going. Whoever's pocketing that money is pocketing the money. Where it's going, wherever it's going. I say pocket. It could be in a bank's pocket in the city. I don't know. Yeah. Someone's pocket. It's a pocket somewhere. You've got to put the money into a place.
It's all optics. It's all optics.
You think so?
They have that on there. I mean, how is every single person that's letting off fireworks getting fined? Is every single person not wearing masks getting fined?
I haven't seen a single person getting fined.
Citations must
go
be
to Carmel. If you want to make $100,000 in one day, go to Carmel.
You don't think there's a cop who's got minimum tickets to write?
Do you think people in Carmel are going to be exhausted?
Someone did.
No.
You don't think so? Not one person? Someone did.
Maybe one person.
Someone did. Tickets have to be right, and there's got to be a receipt.
They would
at least
be
one
all
person's got
over.
to be a
If
receipt.
it was happening in Carmel at this kind of level,
I reckon every cop's got to have one ticket. I reckon that's the rule. No?
No, you
this
can't.
would be all over. In this area, this would be
This
on
would be all
every
over.
single Facebook page. It would be unreal.
Yeah.
Can you believe that I was in Carmel and was
True.
told that I had to wear a mask?
True.
Yeah, Carmel by the Sea.
There was that dude, we saw it. The guy the cops chasing me had a fight because he wouldn't wear a mask and they chased
Right.
him on the beach. It already happened.
Yeah,
I heard a guy got pepper sprayed in the face by some lady because he wasn't wearing a mask.
probably.
She's
I
like,
would
wear a
know.
mask, motherfuckers. Pepper sprayed and probably blind him.
Yeah.
That's why I wear the mask from Elite Team Jiu-Jitsu with the Japanese samurai on it because it's a mask and it says go away. It's just a mask that says go away. I don't want to hear any of your mask. I don't want to hear any of your opinions. I'm just trying to get through this like everybody else. I don't care.
People get hot about the mask thing, dude. I mean,
They get
people
really
hot.
Just put one on and shut up. I don't
No,
care.
I don't agree with that at all.
I know you don't. But you know what? Things will move a lot quicker towards wherever it is that we're going if everyone wears a goddamn mask.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well, because then you've got the evidence. The reason, look, there's A and B equals C, right? Or whatever. 1 and 1 is 2. They're saying everyone needs to wear a mask. People wear a mask. It takes longer for us to get, the car is stalling to wherever it is we're going because people won't wear the masks. Okay, you know what? Call the fucking bluff. Put on a mask. Everyone wear a mask. Now everyone's wearing a mask, guys. What are we going to do now? Surely the virus is not spreading. Surely numbers going down. Everyone's wearing a mask.
They've already proven though that the numbers are just inflated completely, and that they're
telling us to wear masks and no one's listening. They want to keep the ball moving. They want to keep the game rolling. So wear the fucking mask and we'll get to the next step. You want it to be over, you've got to listen. And just they're commanding anyway, and everyone knows they're commanding. So listen to the commands and just try and play the game and survive. If you try and fault it, they'll find deeper and more crazy ways to keep. But you just got to keep dancing. You've got to roll with the dice, man. You've got to keep things moving because they're going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway. They always have been. So you just got to keep going and try and understand it and accept it and keep trying to flow. Be like water. Be Bruce Lee, bro. Be like
That's
water.
like saying that we should just let them ban guns so that they can stop gun violence. Let's just let them do it.
Commenting on guns in English. I don't know anything. I'm not commenting on weapons.
It's your body. You do what you want with it. They can't fucking say you have to do this.
Listen, my friend, when society... Are you going to vaccines right now?
You want to go there?
Well, you just said, it's my body, you can't tell me to do this. So
Yeah.
the immediate topic in that conversation is vaccines.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, let's go there.
So
if they say you have no right to refuse us sticking you in the arm with whatever substance we want
They're not
to,
gonna do that.
you don't own your body.
they're not going to physically force people and make them and jab them. They're not going to do that because that's
They did before.
They've done it before.
yeah. But today's society, you can't do that. Like again,
You couldn't do it back then either, but they did it.
today
They
you
do
can't-
it today.
No, I don't think they can do
We
it.
still had the
I
same
don't think you
constitution
can-
back then, but
I don't think
they
like
still
the
let
Nazis, you can grab people out of their homes and stab them.
They're doing it right now.
it. They're doing
Where?
it right now.
All over the place. I mean, you
In
like
America?
again, you have the indefinite detention of United States citizens
Yeah, right.
for no reason, no trial, no cause. I mean,
NDAA.
look at the no-flight list. There's literally guys out there and people sitting there have never done anything wrong. They're on the no-flight list because they have the same name as somebody else. So anybody by this name can't go it. And you know the process of getting off the no-flight list?
There isn't one.
There isn't one.
Yeah, you can't get off it. So
right.
just one day you go to the airport like, hey, I'm going to fly here. And like, no, you're not. You're never going to go anywhere again. You need to sit in this room for several hours.
Yeah, but
What did I
that's,
do?
That's a result of circumstances.
That happens en masse right
Yeah,
now.
but that's a result of circumstances.
And what circumstances are those? How do we get to this
What we're telling
situation?
is we're talking about. Hang on, one second. That's a very specific amount of circumstances.
But then
that led to the person
once
making
you're
that
on the
list.
no-
What I'm talking about is
once
giving
you're on the
everyone,
no-flight
you're
list-
taking this.
No.
I'm jabbing you with this medication. That is a broad sweep of all
Yeah,
basically
but-
humanity.
but-
Not one geezer who was a dickhead on a
No.
plane and got put on a no-fly
No.
list. That's specific.
No. Once you're on the no-flight list, it affects everything else.
Try
Right.
getting a loan. Try fucking
I
starting
understand
a
what you're
business.
saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that the reason the person ended up on said list, the main thing that happened to result in the bad issue.
Nothing.
Something happened.
No.
What do you mean no?
There's
You
literally
just had the
situations
same name as the person who's supposed to
for
be.
doing absolutely nothing. No, never been near a fucking airplane for years sometimes.
A million bouncing balls bouncing in a box.
Yeah.
That's what it
And
is.
they just
Mad
get put
shit
on the
happens
list.
all over the world. All right, crazy shit happens
Yeah.
to people all over the place, all the time.
You
That's
get
great.
pulled over. They run your driver's license. Oh, sir, you need to step out of the vehicle. You're on a federal list.
One thing I was always curious about was like when you heard, like, you ever see like TV shows or movies, or you ever like even on just I don't know where you would see it, but these guys go door to door because they're sex offenders and like they have the TV cameras with
Big
them.
Lebowski.
Right, and you see like the
What?
reaction of what happens to people when they see like, oh, I just want to let you know I'm your neighbor, I'm a sex offender, yada yada yada. So one time I was thinking, I was like, in one of those scenarios, I saw somebody and they go there and they film the reaction. The guy, I think it was, I don't know what the exact details were, but he said that he peed near a school, like public urination. And so I asked a cop, I said, is this real? Because this just seems a little bit
You
crazy.
can get on the fucking.
That you could get
pedo
on a list
for
like that,
pissing near a
you
school.
know what I mean? For pissing near a school. He says, no, totally bogus. That guy for sure diddled kids.
Right.
That's not a real thing. I had no idea because I had heard that a couple times from people. I don't even know if it was like in person, but for sure on TV. Oh yeah, you know, I was doing public urination near a school or
Yeah.
a school like
I
within
mean,
whatever the amount of feet.
was
you
he
did that thing.
peeing at the fence with all kids in view
Right.
during the school day?
And so I was like, man,
that's
is that
different.
a real thing? Because that's like totally, I don't know. I mean, like you got like Epstein Island, you got like a guy taking a piss near a school.
Well, because like in the Big Lebowski, Jesus, the guy who fights them in the
Like I
bowling
mean, if we're
club,
within 100 feet of a
he
school,
just exposed himself to an 8-year-old, right, intentionally. So what's the difference between that and like Preston was saying, you're at the fence and you just drop trowel, take a piss. All the kids can see you. They can see your schlong, wipe it in the
No,
wind.
but the way they frame it is not that it's during school session or like the kids are at recess.
Right.
This could be just a random freak. I mean, 6 a.m. or whatever, not a normal school hour. Oh, my car got locked and I used the bathroom near a school, right? Because it's posed as this totally, it's not even an exposing oneself kind of thing like the guy was doing that. It's posed as I just urinated, right? And there was no sexual aspect to it. It was just urine.
Right.
And so they get on this list, and it's totally bogus.
Well, TVOs blow shit out.
You know what? Again,
You can get ticketed.
You know
because
what?
it's public
I
indecency.
I reckon in order, I mean, this is gonna sound really mad, bro, but yeah, you have laws in place and stuff, but like.
Yeah, I mean, there's a process to get on the child offender list. I mean, if you're a registered sex offender, it has to go in front of a judge. There has to be evidence. There has to be factual stuff. You're probably already in jail, or you're being arrested, or if you post bail, whatever. But I mean, just to magically get on the list for doing nothing wrong, that's the no-flight list. Like, you're just sitting there chilling at home. You haven't been near a fucking airplane in 5 years. You book a
You're
flight.
telling me every single dude on the no-flight list
No.
is just 100% sane?
No, but there are a lot of people that are affected by it negatively.
No,
So,
I'm,
Do you know someone personally that was
No.
so what have you read to tell you that someone just one day was told that you can't fly anymore and
Yeah.
that's it?
I mean,
Where did you see that?
It does
it's pretty
happen.
common. I mean, you
Well, they
can.
just tell you one day,
Yeah,
you're gonna,
you know who's in charge of it? The
It does
TSA. Have you been to the airport watching the TSA work? You'd be like, that makes a lot of sense.
Have I been to the TSA and watched the TSA work?
Yeah, you're like,
No,
that makes a lot of
it's for
sense.
sure.
I know the TSA very well. Every time
Yeah.
I fly into this country, I go into the back room. I've been in the back room at multiple airports in America. I've seen the interior of the TSA. I've been to US embassies. I've dealt with the US visa process. For marital visas into the US, there's not much that I don't know about them. I pretty much I'm highly skilled on that process. I know
Right.
Do you walk through the scanner, or do you get the pat down?
No, you don't do that. So
No,
I'm
but
talking
have
about
you?
documentation.
Right.
No, never. I've never broken a law in my life. I've got clean
What? No.
records-
I'm
clean
talking
records
about.
in every
I'm
country.
talking about. Do you walk through the electric scanner that scans your whole body each
Oh.
time, or do you get a pat down?
What are you talking about? I'm
For
talking
security.
I'm talking about TSA.
mate,
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is when you go. Like,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
documentation to the back. When
Yeah.
you walk through the scanner, they make you walk through that.
Well, you don't have to. You can get a pat down. That's what I do every time.
Not when you're not an American citizen.
Yeah, when you're an American citizen.
When you're not an American citizen, you're going through that scanner.
Really?
Yeah, I'm English. I'm not American.
Okay.
When you're not American, we don't know who you are.
Right.
You're getting the full bzzz.
The zap.
Yeah, we don't know who you are. If you're American, there's certain things about you you're American because you're American. We'll take you from here, and you're in big trouble, and we'll deal with you. Papa will deal with you. You're from another place, so I can't do that with you, because then things get tricky, and I don't know who you are, and I don't know who you know, and there's lawyers, and you're from another country, and I've got race relations with another country. But if you're American, then we'll deal with you our own way. It's just we can deal with you. That's all it's for. That's it. That's all it's for. That's all it's for.
But back to the point of the government just doing things unilaterally and deciding these things. Like, yeah, they sprayed fucking EDT or whatever on us. Like, they do these chemical sprayings on whole swaths of populations without telling them, you know? These things are cancerous. They really wreak havoc on everything. They just don't tell people.
but Danny, the government would never do anything wrong.
The government can't. By
Again.
definition, they're saviors.
I would like to say that I'm a massive fan of the TSA, and I like anybody who works at any airport and anything for any visa, for Homeland Security, anybody who sits at that desk in those grey rooms and does those paperwork with passports for people from all over the world and deals with their issues are very, 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 very strong, very, very, very calm people. The best experience I've ever had in my life is usually on the East Coast, when all of them, most of the time, are Puerto Rican. I end up having a conversation with them, and I tell them who I end up working for a Puerto Rican company. And I had two beautiful twin sisters, who basically worked at, I won't say the name of the airport, they worked at Homeland Security. And as soon as I walked in, I went,
Fort Lauderdale.
No. I'm like, they're Puerto Rican. Wow. And I was like telling them who I work for, and they were like, oh my God, I was like, where are we from? In our town, we have this song, like, I had this, like, the whole clap, and this whole tune, this whole Latin, at the freaking thing. It was amazing. And it was a cultural, like, moment in time. It's very cool.
I
And
can't
for people
believe
who
you
work
love the
at border-
TSA.
No, people who work at the
like a
border.
hot take.
Joe,
Yeah.
when you travel in and out around the world enough, you become a traveler of the world. And there's certain
Oh, shit. That's not your car.
Nah, that's somebody who just drove past.
Yeah.
When you travel around the world, you become a traveler of the world, and there's a different level to existence. Dealing with people at airports, dealing with planes, understanding you're around different sections of different worlds of people all the time. Changing scenario, this is getting back to acceptance. Changing culture, changing smells, changing language, changing body language, changing uniform, changing cops, changing everything all the time. All your time is completely just traveling in basically different dimensions. Because going from Paris to go to China back to PG. Let me tell you something.
No, I know.
That's a culture shock when you just go.
I've been to
and
all
you just
three.
take in all information at once, and you're just like, all right, man. So this is what it is, and you just ride this wave of what we are on this earth. And the gatekeepers and the people of the world, the people who are in charge, especially this country, people like TSA and the Homeland Security and the airport cops, all those people are amazing because they like it's a border. Imagine an invisible border.
How
in your
many
country.
terrorists have the TSA caught? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. But
It's
I do know it's
zero.
on the question. I do know it's one of the questions that you're asked when you apply for it, when you get a green card.
No.
Every time you apply for an ESTA. Have
how
you ever
many-
been or you're a member of
How
Nazi
many
Germany? You click
terrorists
the box, don't you?
have the TSA caught?
How many terrorists have they helped through?
Yeah,
That's
I don't know,
the
they're
bigger
probably all in
question.
Guantanamo. That's what we're told.
Yeah,
They're all in
but
Guantanamo.
even then with
Right?
those body scanners, they did a whole thing like, okay, here's how you hide weapon. There's guys, again, testing it, but they test it randomly, just laden with guns and knives and stabbing objects. If you hide things,
Laden?
laden,
Laden.
Knives and stabbing weapons.
Osama bin Laden. Sorry, I was too easy.
Osama bin
I got a
Laden.
smile. Baba ding dong. Dude, bring it back.
Yeah. I mean, how many have they caught? Zero. How
Is
many-
that true? Is that really true?
Yeah.
So there's nobody that's ever like, you know what, I'm a bad dude.
Be like, guys, we got a terrorist today. Never.
Not one.
Not one.
And where's this is so? What do they catch then? Are you saying?
They just get us used to being policed more and more. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
I remember the days back when I was flying in 2000, before 2001, like walking through there, just skateboarding down the lanes and stuff that were basically...
Skateboarding?
Skateboarding. It's basically right after I went through the scanner, just like the things, the metal detector that you walk through, put my skateboard down, rode all the way to the fucking gate, dude. Nobody even batted an eye.
Yeah.
And now, no, you can't run, you can't speak loud, you can't even look at an
Don't
officer
run.
sideways, do anything like that. I'll pull out the Glock 9, fucking end you.
Yeah.
We're in a whole different world now, dude. It's a wild, wild time.
Shoes are off.
Yeah.
Mask is on.
Yeah, shoes are off, masks are on, and fucking dicks are out, dude. And it's fucking heavy. And you
They
better be
want to
ready to
grab
take
it,
the
they
cream.
will. They will grab that dick.
Uh-huh.
First they get the scanner, and then they hit you with the personal pat down.
Mm-hmm.
They walked in and pressed.
And then the
pressed us and
fucking-
grabbed it.
You
They
know,
will.
58 ply black glove, three different fucking
Ripped.
300-pound
Yeah.
gorillas.
Cough.
Yeah, just
Mr.
a
Ballsack and cough.
Just put your head to the side and say goodbye.
So,
So there's no real rules of how long they can detain you.
Nope.
None.
no. But yeah, that's you know,
Hey, you know, acceptance.
that's the acceptance of the person who's a prison guard. Acceptance of what they're doing, keeping you in a jail cell. They don't know nothing.
Well, I mean,
about
what
it.
is
It doesn't
acceptance?
matter.
I mean, look
Yeah,
at Stanford
the
prison
jail,
experiment.
the warden at the jail, the guard at the guard at the jail that closes that door. Come. Doesn't matter what the fuck you say. Doesn't matter what your story is. He's an enemy. Doesn't listen to him. You're put here nothing. That guard accepts that I'm closing the door. I don't know nothing. It's my job. Acceptance. It's always there. Somebody's always accepting reality. And that's the way to flow through is acceptance. And
Look at
you
you
will
trying to get
eventually,
paid, pimp.
and if you're right, and if you're locked in that cell, eventually you'll accept the fact that you're there, and that's what it is, and you ain't going nowhere. Acceptance, and you'll learn to live within that space.
Or
and
you'll
live
work
in your
to get
mind.
out.
And you'll live in your mind, or you
Yeah,
won't
but you
get
have
out.
to understand it to be able to accept it.
No,
So
you
how
don't.
many people?
You don't think people are? If you're just locked in a box, yeah, some people will just go crazy. But the way to survive it is just this is who you. Maybe you'll get out, maybe you won't. But try and exist within the space.
But not everybody can understand what the hell's really going on.
So try.
Can
and,
they?
So
It's
try,
not just about, you know,
So
because
try and accept that you don't know. Live
you
within
have
the
to
box and
actually
balancing
do
rules.
something about your situation, as whatever it can be. Whether it's doing push-ups in the cell or not. Like, not just accepting it and dying in a hole.
Exactly. You have to.
To do something about it, not just accept your situation as it is, because we need to build, we need to
Well, I'm
do
saying,
things.
okay, you can flip the word whichever way. I'm saying accept that you're in this space and live with it. So we're both saying the same thing. You're just flipping the word around the other way. I'm saying accept that you're in this space and learn to live with it, and be there, like in a positive way. We're kind of saying the same thing, but you're like,
I'm making sure we're being
You're
positive.
saying don't say accept it and just do nothing about it.
Yeah.
I'm saying is accept that you're there and that's what it is and move on. Again, it's 3 points: taking in the information.
So where are we right now, and
accepting
how
it
can we
moving in a
accept
positive
it?
direction.
You have to accept the vaccine. You have to accept the fear.
See, we're focusing too much on the word accept it, and now it's now become like obey. So we're not
Yes.
going, I see the way you're emphasizing the word. That's not what I mean by it. I'm saying taking, again, moving back to you've dug too much into it and that's lost all meaning. The meaning was take the information, accept the information and move forward in a positive direction. is
So
what
I'm saying,
Positive
I
direction
accept
being
what you're
the main
saying.
point.
I'm in acceptance
That's
with
cool.
what
Now
you're
you're
saying.
taking the piss out of it.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is, what do we accept about our current situation?
We have no control over it.
Okay, that's your point of view.
Do we have no control over it?
Ah, right. Well, there you go. So you have no control on what decisions are being made, but you can only control what has been made since it's happened. Like you trying to retrofit out the shop or do something like that. You can accept what they've told you, or you can try and create something out of it. No?
Yeah, that's part of it.
Phil
could just accept it and do nothing, not
You
go
can
to
do
the
nothing, but you're accepting it, and you're going, these are the rules and parameters you set. Fine, I will accept that, and I will create around that. I will move forward in a positive direction. Again, you kept using the word accept, obey, but you forgot the positive point, which was take the information, accept the information, move forward in a positive direction. That's the goal.
I haven't forgotten it. I'm asking each
Cool.
of you, in our current situation, you're accepting it to that level. We're in it. And it's not like you can say, COVID's not happening, the shutdown isn't happening, it's not real. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we're accepting this is happening. Now, how do we move on it with our best intentions? Phil, we see what you're doing. You're trying to keep cutting hair. You're trying to keep doing your craft. And so for me personally, how I answer that question is, I really don't know. I'm in a space where I just really don't know. I'm conflicted, like I said earlier. And I'm trying to do whatever I can. I'm trying to put the truth out there for people, or at least different points of view, different points of data for people. And I've been censored on Instagram where they say this is all false data and shit. And truthfully, I don't know. I see things that I like that fill the narrative that I'm, been following and believe in for the majority of the part. And then I say, okay, I don't fully go check to see who all these doctors are or whatever. I don't see if all of it's legit. It just sounds like it was a thing on hydrochloroquine or whatever. And they were saying we were treating all these people and they're cured of COVID. And I reposted it and said, this is all false information. And so, is it really false information? I don't know.
Immediately. That's what I love about these fact checkers. The day the Wayfair cabinets came out, this is false information.
It has to be false. It can't
Nobody's even heard of this yet. I mean, it'd be one thing if, okay, let's give it 24 hours, we'll look into it. But this was within 2 hours, I couldn't share the cabinet meme. I couldn't share anything about it. Oh, it's false information. You can't share that.
That's been going on for decades on eBay.
eBay?
Yeah.
What's selling children on eBay?
eBay, the biggest scam on eBay right now, I think you could still look it up, but I remember years ago, you could get an iPhone 4 for $15,000, and there's bids on it. And it had a lot of very weird numbers and this and that location, but it was all code for GPS locations. And it was just money laundering because it was basically anonymous transactions through a third-party website, and all you had to do was have a bank account, and boom, we have you the money in a U.S. account. You sold on eBay. As far as we know on eBay, maybe some drunk guy that bought an iPhone 4 for $16,000. But no, if you really look in the descriptions, okay, you won this, here's what you go to do to find this, and here's the infrastructure we have. So when you're bidding on it, you know exactly what you're doing and where to go. It's like, okay, well, I bid $16,000. Okay, well, here's the pickup spot for your kilo or two, whatever drugs that you purchased.
Got it.
There's such a little way to track it. In
Right.
London, there used to be advertisements. One of the most amazing propaganda machines in the world is London Underground. It's all plastered with commercials and advertisements. Same in France, the metro, and across Europe. But London specifically, very, very, very specifically picked where locationally, what station you're at, where you are in London. You get specific advertisements on the train, what you see on the train. There's advertisements everywhere. In Asia, there's TVs, and you can plug your things in. It's just propaganda all the time. The machine, people go to work, people from the metro, the free newspapers, everything. There used to be a commercial, I've never forgotten it, that showed eBay, and this was 15 years ago. If my computer had battery, I'd pull up the stats, but it would be a gold ring or a diamond ring is sold on eBay every 6 seconds. A teddy bear is sold every 4 seconds. I mean, I'm paraphrasing these numbers, but the size of it, just to give you the scale, the size of how eBay operates, is just like everywhere in the world. A car is sold every 2 seconds on eBay somewhere in the world. That transactions are happening that quickly. You couldn't keep track of it. So it doesn't surprise me you can hide anything up. You can hide anything on the internet. If you know the right people who understand and speak the language of the internet, you can hide anything there. It's a digital place, a place that you cannot see or cannot touch. It only exists in numbers. And if you know how to manipulate those numbers, you can manipulate its system. I mean, again, this is everyone was told this in the Matrix. This is all it's in the Hollywood movie that changed the world. A lot of people don't pay attention to it, but it's there.
It's one of my favorites.
It's one of the greatest movies of all time.
Yeah,
and people
it's
don't
the greatest
understand
allegory.
It's not just guns and badass. It is amazing, but it's visual effects, and they had to make people love it. They have to do revolutionary things to make people dig it. If you read the message, it's everything.
John Wick 4, Matrix 4, same day.
Same day.
What do you mean, same day?
Double feature.
Next double
Allegedly,
feature.
they're going to be released the same day.
Yeah, John. You know why? Because I understand. I've called this since the beginning. I've fucking called this since the beginning. If I'm right, dude, I should need to make money off this shit. Place your bets in Vegas. I believe that Keanu Reeves is just dope and he's doing cool shit.
We'll tie it in.
Yeah, it's the same. It's when since he's been dead and since he went to the next place. The next place was John Wick Land. He's still him. He's still badass with guns and everything, assassin. But it's John Wick Land because there's direct movie quotes that Lawrence Fishburne does, and that Keanu Reeves does. Guns, lots of guns. From movies, there's different quotes. There's things that tie the two movies together already. So if he's going to do John Wick 4 and The Matrix 4 on the same day, and you know, if you're ever into numerology or anything like that, 44 or whatever, it's a big thing. For some people, whatever, you know. What's George Carlin said, I'll leave the symbols to the simple-minded. But anyway, yeah. But whatever speaks to you, man, in the artistically. But yeah, it's going to tie the two universes together. And you'll watch both movies and it'll be the dopest thing ever. Because who in Hollywood, how does Keanu Reeves, like, already top being one of the dopest actors and the most relevant actors in the world, do something that no one's ever done? Make two movies in the same day, release them and make them the same movie. It's an art piece. It's cool as shit. No one else has done it. How many movies come out every year? Keanu Reeves, I did that, bro. I'm gonna go surfing or whatever.
Another really good movie, or what you should do if you're interested in The Matrix is look up a YouTube video called Decoding the Matrix. And it's by Mark Passio, and it fucking breaks down every scene.
I've seen it.
You have?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, and it's fucking like, you look, what? Like, it's just...
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece. You know what's good as well? Have you seen the Truman Show one?
The Decoding the Truman Show?
Exceptional. Have you seen that?
I think I've seen just a part of it, but I need to see all of it.
Have you seen that, Phil?
No.
You're a digger. Straight out of the Bible.
Wait, you haven't seen Truman Show?
No.
Have you seen the movie, The Truman Show?
No.
Shut up.
Oh, we're going to see that. We should make a movie night tomorrow night.
Let's do that. If you're still here, movie night, watch Truman Show, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
And then if you want, you can do the extra bonus one where you watch someone break it down. It's direct Bible quote, the whole thing, the whole movie. You've never seen the Truman Show?
All right, don't spoil it. This
That's
one we're gonna let happen because if Preston's down to host it,
Yeah.
because I think it's one of those movies that's like required reading. It's required reading.
Yeah.
It's required reading. It's like, that's good. It's like, some people like don't like those things. Like, I didn't watch Game of Thrones because everyone tells me to watch it, so I won't do it. A lot of people have that. I didn't watch Breaking Bad until it was done, over with, done, and then I went in. Same for like a couple like Game of Thrones. I didn't start until it was near the end.
I watched the last 20 minutes and that's it.
Of Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Really?
I've only seen the first episode.
Did you really? All episodes? All you watched?
I've only seen the first
My
episode.
mom was always watching. Oh my god, I love this show. But she said, "Oh, watch it with you guys." She was trying to get me and my girlfriend to watch it. And I'm like, "Nah." All my clients, "Oh, Phil, did you watch Game of Thrones?"
You watched it too,
I
right?
was like, "Nah."
Just being culturally relevant.
It wasn't like I was like trying to be anti Game of Thrones. It's just like I've already seen Lord of the Rings. I don't really.
It's a huge investment.
It's just like by the time
It's a
that
huge
I
investment of time, and it's just like, do you want to be culturally relevant or not? It's not necessarily about assimilating, but culturally it resonates with all people. And it's something that everybody watched and everybody's involved with, because emotionally it's written very cleverly and it captivates everyone because it's multi-layered and it describes a lot of life. The fucking Queen watched it, bro. The Queen went on set.
And if the Queen watched it,
no, but the fact that it can,
I'm out.
What TV shows do you think the fucking Queen watches religiously? None. The fact that it resonates to the human, bro. The fact it resonates to humans so much, all races, all places, all people. I mean, what is it to come at the end of the day? Everyone to feel in the same way, love or unity. How do you put it on the scope? If you can all talk about the same thing and all conversate, you're in a barber shop where people talk about the same thing all the time. It's just another layer, another thing for people to agree on, not agree on a TV show. But once something that's everyone involved in, it's like sport or anything else. It's just another thing. But if it's a wave that everyone's riding, again, are you riding with Biden or are you,
Well, where do you ride with the Queen? Where do you stand with the royal family?
That's a very sticky topic.
Is it?
Sticky toffee pudding of a topic. Yes.
I'm out.
I don't agree with the Queen necessarily. I don't necessarily agree with
a
non-elected. I don't agree with a non-elected bloodline royal pompery. We're going here and we're horseback and tradition states that this is the way we do things. I don't think that's that. I think it's actually where we are as a human being. I think it's contrary to human evolution. I'm not saying
You
destroy
think she's
art
still
and tradition. I'm not saying destroy art and tradition, but it's just got to a point where it's not necessary and it's archaic, and it kind of.
Do you think she still runs shit?
That's a very wide topic. I do think that she.
Or her family still
I
like
still
really
think-
runs shit?
No, I think she runs shit. I think she runs it all. There's an amazing video where they have this royal court, this royal table. When Obama went to visit the Queen, everyone in the world is there, and Obama does a speech, and everyone cheers Obama, and Obama goes to cheers the Queen, and she don't fucking move. I'm the Queen, bitch. You're in my house. I don't move. And Obama's like, and he bows a little head and whatever, and everyone, they sit down. No, my house. I run this shit. This bitch. I run all of this. Her family, lineage-wise, through bloodlines, own basically most
The
of
House
Europe.
of Orange.
Basically own most of Europe, and they own a lot of America, contrary to what people believe.
Well, I mean, what is
The
it?
families belong. They own everything. They own it all.
Yep.
They own everything.
Royal
All the
bloodlines.
land.
What was
The
it,
Queen. The Queen has the power, and I know this for a fact because I watched her do it. There's a club in London called Cirque du Soir, Circus of the Night, which is now called something else, which is gone.
Circus
And I
of the
spent
Day.
some time there when I lived in Mayfair. It's off of Savile Row, which is where, widely known in the world, the best suits are made on the planet. Hands down, Savile Row. Google it, I don't care. The best, it's the one street where the greatest suits on earth are built. Tailor-made, it's going to cost you $5,000 for the cheapest suit. But it's going to be the best suit you've ever worn in your life, and it's going to blow your mind. Anything you can think of, they'll make it on the spot, and it's incredible and an amazing experience.
So like the English James Bond, what's that show?
That's Savile Row. That's a real shop.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law works for the dude who directs it, whatever.
I forget what it's called, but it's
The
Kingsman.
The Kingsman. That's right.
The Kingsman. My sister's husband works for the whole thing. It's a real street, Savile Row. And they used to be right on the corner of Savile Row by the biggest police station in central London and Mayfair. It's a gnarly police station. There was a club there called Cirque du Soir, and it was gnarly shit happening in that building. The craziness. And the club got shut down for being too wild in such a prestigious part of town. And the Queen, someone showed up to the door, knocked on the door, to my understanding, as the story goes, and was handed a piece of paper. And it was basically a dude in a black thing with white gloves and a black jacket, with a car, a representative of the Queen, showed up on Savile Row and handed a piece of paper. I, as the Queen, am seizing this property under my royal rights. You are to cease all activities right now. Goodbye. And she took the building.
You saw this.
I saw the piece of paper. I've seen the piece of paper with my own eyes and was like, huh. And I was told that dude came and fucking thing. The Queen has the right to take any land for herself at any time, any place, when she sees fit. Mine. Be gone. Mine. She doesn't really do it, but she does. And you just don't know about it. She can take anywhere at any point. And if she can do that in her country, she'll do it anywhere. She'll just tell you. You don't even have to pay. She'll just.
It's written into the fucking very bylaws of the country.
Yeah, I will say this is mine. It's mine. I do what I want with it. So the Queen can do anything, anywhere she wants. She arguably owns the most land.
How old is she now?
Fuck knows, in her 90s, 92 or something. I don't know. I have
She's
no
got to be.
Adrenochrome?
92 or something. She doesn't look bad.
She doesn't look bad. She doesn't look 90.
Old Lizzie don't look bad. She walks very slowly like this. To my understanding of interviews and things that I've seen growing up in England, the Queen, she have people that will greet her over, and she will invite the most insane people, who know absolute experts in topics of this or that or the other. People like Preston's grandfather, who are experts in metallurgy, who have dinner with the what, Japan?
Tribologist.
But had dinner with the
Emperor of Japan.
Things like that. Those levels of people. So the Queen invites all these people to her house. They sit and they have food, and the Queen will start up a subject about whatever it is they know, and the Queen will know their level of intelligence on the subject. I've heard that from growing up on TV shows from multiple sources. The Queen will speak on the subject that person is an expert on, as if they know more than that person on the subject, and will do it in front of other guests.
I'm sure she's privy to the greatest fucking vitamins on the planet.
Dude, for everyone in the room. She'll speak on their shit, what they do. So you're a barber. So what size clippers do? What brand is it? Do you use this? Oh, I've seen on YouTube. Or, oh yes, I have people to Google things and print out.
Sit down, mate.
Yeah, I've seen your shop. Oh, so you use these chairs. To my understanding, those chairs are X, Y, and Z. I've seen you play guitar. Da, da, da. And she'll speak on it. She'll blow your mind. She'll have all the information, everything there. Or she's got a little microphone,
implanted. She's already got the brainstem
Maybe
chip.
that's the long
She's
con.
listening
Maybe.
right now.
Yeah.
Maybe, but apparently it's been like like I've seen on TV. People that have met the Queen have been speaking on that for a long time. That's what she's like. She'll just blow you away with her information.
So who's above her?
And then who knows? Who knows what it is? You know, you can play that game all day. Who's above that person, and so on. Many layers to bouncing balls in a box.
Because surely the public figures of anyone in the world can't truly be running shit. There has to be the shadow people behind them who aren't targets whatsoever. They're not in the public eye. No stray bullet could ever hit them because.
Again, there's that wonderful picture where there's. I mean, you can find it on the internet. Everything's on the internet. There's a picture of one of the Rothschilds with his finger in Prince Charles's chest, telling him off, like in his tie, putting his chest in it, and it says, "If you're telling off one of the royals, you must be a Rothschild." And he's like, motherfucker, with his finger in his chest, telling him off, and you look at it, and you're like, oh Jesus. So that's interesting. That's pretty gnarly. But yeah, you know, there's a lot of speculation as to.
You have to imagine that there's members of the royal family who are chosen never to see the public eye. They grow up in a completely different world. Like they could be in the center of the earth for you know. They just decide shit. They're part of the bloodline. They're trusted.
Do you work for the crown or not?
Yeah, you know.
Do you work for the crown? Your royal duties. Do you uphold your
Have
royal
you
duties?
taken your blood oath?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you uphold your royal duties? If so, you must join us on this quest.
Mm-hmm.
You choose.
Well, no, they don't even get a choice. They're born into this whole system where they don't even know the outside world really truly exists. Maybe, like we were saying with the black box layers and stuff like that. Like
none of them do. The royalists and the elites and the rich children.
They don't breathe that air.
No,
my sister went to one of those schools in London. I won't say the name of the school, but a very serious school, a place where you drive up to and it looks like it looks like a.
There's a lot of things you won't tell us, Alex.
It looks like a Roman Colosseum. Hey, my sister. No, because I don't want to share too deeply.
Okay.
I just have information on things. I don't have to feel the need to openly share everything.
Fair enough.
Position. I know what my truth is to be. So my sister went to one of these schools that when you walk up to it, it looks like a Roman Colosseum. Like you drive up to it and you into the private entrance and you go, holy shit! It's a school.
It's a castle.
It's a. I don't even know what to tell you what it is. It's like when you imagine going to Harvard or something like that. It's like that. And if you ever get to see Oxford or Cambridge in real life, it will blow your mind. It's Harry Potter. That's where I filmed Harry Potter. Blow your mind. And you see that building and you go, oh! It's unbelievable. The whole town, the whole village, the whole setup.
Where is Oxford?
In Oxford.
Where's that?
In sort of centralish England. It's north of London. North of London by like, I don't know, 3 hours in the car. So north, 2-3 hours in the car. Just north.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated by how people are still really like obsessed with royalty and like you were saying, what's the really need of it in our world today? And
unification around the flag.
Yeah.
Our flag means a group of people. Your flag means all of you, but it also stands for things like guns and the eagle and these sort of iconic Americana symbols, modern day symbols that you associate with America, the world associated with pickup truck, McDonald's, all these, you know, whatever. There's just certain things that people associate with countries, right? Paris would be the Eiffel Tower, the baguette. Some people would say
baguette.
Yeah, right. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Wine,
it is.
Cheese. There's just these things you learn as a child at school. Spain, Macarena, or paella. Or there's just these things, things you associate with. Germany, you could say beer or bratwurst. Unfortunately, through historical context, a lot of people would say Nazis. It's just the reality of the way things are.
Yeah, absolutely.
You say Florida, oranges. There's things that people go to, There's just things that people go to associate with. So, for England, people just needed something to associate the country with. It's medieval thinking. There's always been a king, a crown, something, a flag. They've always had a crest, something to cling to. And the one that seems to hold on the longest, the lineage and the line, just draws to the family that are running shit now. It's not great.
I don't know.
Was the guy that was killed in Texas armed? Not armed? What's the story with that?
The guy who shot the police officer?
There was some guy that was killed in Texas that I've heard 18 different variations of the story. Nobody can get it straight. Either the guy had a gun and pointed it, he didn't have a gun, so he couldn't have pointed anything. And then he points the gun allegedly, or doesn't point the gun, depending on who you read this from. And then the person in the vehicle also pulls a gun, and the next thing you know, the guy's dead.
Neither of them are police?
Neither one.
I don't know. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen
I
it
haven't seen
either.
it either.
Yeah, I was hoping you guys had heard about it.
Nope.
No.
I think I did hear about it, but I didn't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because I was on the same page. I was like,
But I see
tried
that
finding
happening
it out.
probably more and more now. People are so on edge. It's insane now.
Because literally on the Explore page, you would have 2 different opinions.
Explorer?
On Instagram, there's the search page.
Oh, right.
And so, I mean, everybody was saying this guy was a veteran, but that's all I had really heard. There was no real consistent other thread besides that.
I don't know about that.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I find it very interesting how a lot of the, I literally just happened to come upon it. A lot of things, and it doesn't matter. I follow a lot of crazy stuff. Spread the truth, the conspiracy, this, that. I follow pro-Trump stuff. I follow anti-Trump stuff. I follow pro-Boris Johnson stuff, anti-Boris Johnson stuff. I follow lots of things, all opinions. I want to see.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah, the full spectrum, everything. It's funny, especially if you stand near someone. And they look at you and go, "What is it?" And it's you'll see guns, you'll see tiki stuff, alcohol, or a mix of all sorts of things. But the massive increase in seeing this mirror glaze false information.
Yeah.
See why, and you click or see post. This on Instagram, especially Twitter, have been doing it for a long time. On Instagram, is becoming more and more evident all the time, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
every
censorship.
4 posts,
Damn it, Zuckerberg.
you already have an advertisement every 4 posts. So now within the 4 posts that you see between ads, you're seeing more and more false informations. And like I was saying earlier, some of this stuff is just like, man, this literally just came out.
The consumerism, the microphone consumer algorithm thing is starting to I've noticed it's sped up massively too.
Yeah.
You'll be talking about something in a room and you look at your Instagram, there it is, boom, buy me.
Oh, Burger
It's because
King.
the mic's on.
Yeah.
It's because the mic's on.
If we all said
It's
Burger King,
listening.
Burger King, you know.
It's just listening and recording. Let's see,
Yeah.
let's test it right now. Burger King. We'll say Burger
Burger
King.
King?
You're listening to this at home.
Burger King.
And if you're listening to this at home, you're going to hear Burger King. Your phone's going to hear Burger King. So if anyone gets an ad or anything or sees anything from Burger King, say Burger King.
Burger King?
Burger
Burger
King.
King.
No.
Burger King, if it works. And
Just
you
like,
wanna send
imagine.
us-
If you say Burger King 3 times near Alexa, it will
Burger
literally
King,
DoorDash
Burger
the
King,
entire
Burger
menu.
King. And then fucking Candyman will come through the
Candyman, wow, yeah. Candyman, the mirror with the
Candyman.
bees, the wasp, whatever.
Remember when that was like one of my favorite commercial series was when the Burger King guy actually was doing stuff. They had the guy with the mask.
Yeah.
Oh, just the live
Yeah.
guy? Woo!
Yeah, the live guy.
Break
That
down
was
cinema,
so
whatever.
clean.
They don't do that anymore?
No.
I haven't watched TV in so long. I don't know what's going
Jack
on.
in Box has been doing that for years.
No. But this is a whole different guy. The King himself. I mean, as a persona.
Himself.
You know what I got to say? The last time I got a fast food burger when I just caved was in Phoenix Airport, which is known to be the friendliest airport in America. Did you guys know that?
No.
Did you know why? They say that Phoenix Airport is the friendliest airport in America. Reason is because the head of customer service for American Airlines is in Phoenix Airport. If you, I've had my sticky situations at Phoenix Airport, mind you, especially to catch the Monterey flight because it's at the end, and you usually land from Dallas. There's like 2 flights. There's 4 flights a day, I think, and there's two in the morning and 2 in the afternoon or something like that. Maybe it's 6, 2 and 12 o'clock. If you get that late one, when you land from Dallas, you usually have 20 minutes to get off the plane, get out the terminal, run a straight line, and then get into the other terminal and get on the plane. So it just doesn't. Mostly it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. You just accept the fact that you're not getting on that plane.
So you have to
Your
wait for
luggage
the
might, because it's opposite. The luggage takes it off, drives it across the parking lot, whatever, and puts it in the other plane. Your luggage gets there, but you don't. Especially if you get off the plane and you're going through Phoenix, it's the vacation series, and Arizona, you're like, oh god, it's just a nightmare. The sunset is boiling hot. Fuck it. So last time I was there, I'm like, I'm gonna go for Wendy's. I'm doing it.
Oh, you went with Wendy's?
I'm like, because it was there. I mean, you know what? I'm just going all in. The health food place wasn't open. I just said it's just a long day. I'm just gonna cave. I'm accepting. I'm gonna eat crappy food. I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take off the team. Everyone needs a little race to feel better. I've been traveling for 14 hours. Fuck it. And that's the way the system's been designed. Or whatever. I'm gonna have a burger. So I went for like the triple one with all the bacon.
The Baconator.
The Baconator, thank you. It was just when it came out, and I was like, oh my god, this is so bad. I'm gonna feel so awful. I had one before I got on the plane. It was one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life. And I got on the plane and had the second one. And someone was next to me was a bit pissed off because I think it was a bit stinky. But I was like, I don't care. I'm going home. I'm going back to Monterey. I don't care. I'm going home. And ate it. You know what? Amazing release of just like, this is bad, but it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind. Because no one else is getting hurt by it. It's just it's a humble little cheeseburger. Again, it's not
Except for those animals that you ate.
Yeah, but we don't have to go down the
Not
animal
animals.
path. Animals have
Animals don't have
Animal-
rights, Danny.
Yeah, they do.
Animals
Every
don't
They
have
have a
conscious-
right to be eaten.
Every conscious
There's
being
no
does.
rights for anything other than humans, Danny.
Well, those are going away too. So it's
Except only the humans that we like.
only the elite
Green-
have feelings and have rights.
The rhetorical we brought to you by Instagram and Facebook.
Until that's false too.
So you disagree with the amount of meat-focused, meat-based, meat.meatbrandmeat.com diet that Phill is pursuing?
Of course,
100%.
100%.
You want to dive in on? You want to open this up?
Yeah, it's 100% unethical, and it's immoral. And if you enslave any conscious feeling being, you too will be enslaved.
So what you're saying is I just got to go over to PG with bow and arrow and get some deer.
Yeah, that's logical.
Okay. So we should just start bow hunting in PG. George Washington every Sunday. It's just bow hunting Sunday.
But it's like everything else. You
Fucking
deal with your
idiot.
own karma. And do I think that getting something at McDonald's is the same as hunting it with a bow and arrow? No, it's not the same thing. Because, and Preston makes a good point. He said that because I said enslaving an animal, and that's what mechanization of farming does. Totally dehumanizes the people who work there. Totally enslaves and tortures all the animals that live there. But if it's out in the nature and you really need that to survive, and I know there's people that have different body types and they do way better on meat than they do on vegetables and stuff like that, and we've evolved over time. But is it necessary? Is there repercussions for it? Yes. And each of us will have to deal with that in their own way. And just like I don't agree with our military or our police in any single way, Preston's, he's a part of it in some ways, and he agrees with it in some ways. I don't. I still feel that on the whole, each of us in this room is doing a lot to bring people's level of awareness up and helping people in a majority of ways. Otherwise, I wouldn't be associated with either of you, any of you. And so, that being said, I'm not walking on water. I'm not Jesus. I fucking still am a hypocrite in many of the things that I say. I do the best that I can. And I'm still, like I say, unsure about so many things. Like, I don't know if I would be fucking feeling amazing and be the best health of my life if it was on me,
Try it.
And I thought about trying it too. So, I don't know.
That's the thing. Understanding I don't know. Are you competent staying in I don't know, or would you prefer to know the answer so then you can speak on it and be like, I know because I've done this. And that I'm not saying that could work for anything. I'm saying you can't talk about heroin unless you take a bunch of heroin. I mean, no, it's not really the same kind of thing. But in terms of things that, like diet, minuscule things, baby steps that you can control. I've stopped eating. I cheat. I cheated today. I ate meat today in front of you guys. I cheated.
That chicken's good for you.
I haven't eaten I don't remember the last time I ate a potato or pasta. I like that. I'm not trying to hold on to it, forget it. I like the fact that I haven't eaten potato or pasta in a long time, and I've just gone. It's cool, man. I'm alright with that. No fries, no potatoes, no mash. I'm just okay, let it live over there and exist. Fine. Especially living here, there's all the vegetables in the world. It's literally called the salad bowl of the world.
Yeah.
I come from a place where you can't get stuff like this. Every day, every time I go to a farmer's market, I can't believe it. I can't believe my eyes what I'm seeing. I can't believe walking into any of the supermarket chains that you have in this town and seeing the level of produce that you guys take. Not necessarily you guys, but everyone in this goddamn town takes for granted.
Home blend.
It just what you guys have right here is unbelievable. And then you take into account the bay and the fish. The existence of living here is perfect. It's Goldilocks. It's the exact correct climate, correct temperature, correct air, fuel, soil. Everything is in a bit of harmony here. Again, Pacific Grove by God. Monterey, the whole area, the whole place. It seems to me to be in perfect harmony in terms of how you can live if you choose to.
It's all there.
It's all there for
And
it to
not
exist in a better, peaceful...
Super expensive.
Yeah, but that's the price.
No, I mean the
Perfection.
produce is not super expensive. Like
No,
it's
it's not.
super reasonable.
It's not. You don't have to go for what's easy, and absolutely support your 100% now more than ever support your local restaurants and bars and places that are able to stay open, because you have to keep this place going. We're all in it together as a town. You have to keep the wheels turning, because it's what keeps this town alive is people coming to visit its beauty. So the town has to facilitate.
That being said, I'm really happy with what they're doing in a lot of businesses downstairs, and I'll be happy when you do it too. Just seeing all the people expand outside and making all those parklets and stuff, it makes it feel like a whole different town. Like, finally, there's an outside culture. There's actually like a feeling of it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like almost like a mini good old days every day. And it
Sorry.
and it feels great.
Sorry. I actually slipped out. I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just going to say, like, if there's ever a slogan that should be more positive for this town, I don't know what the current slogan for the town is. The fact that I don't know it means it doesn't particularly resonate with me. But to be here, you have to, for it to change, because everyone knows there's a lot that needs to change in this place in terms of modernisation, in terms of catering to a new level of people who exist here, from all walks of life, from whether they're new money from the north or from Silicon Valley, or whether they're from the south coming up, or whether they're from Texas, or whether they're from Arizona, anywhere in the world. There's a new wave, a new type of people that are coming here, and things need to evolve with it. It just needs to move forward, and it will do, whether people choose to accept it or not. Things will change, and they have to. There's always been. You couldn't drink alcohol in Monterey, in Pacific Grove until, what was it, 1969?
Yeah, and that ties us into why we started this talk, and I think it's a good way to kind of end it. Is we were talking about how things have changed so much, and how like there's been this huge cultural shift, and like a lot of things are, is this okay? Do we still need it? Like the Padres being taken out of Carmel, like they're having a debate about that now. Like the mascot for the high school there, like for the father, like they own slaves, they fucking beat the indigenous, they raped and killed them all, and it's like, do we need to have this still? Is this still appropriate? Like these talks, these things are happening all over, and like you're saying, the new money or these new people that are existing now, like there has to be an accommodation for this whole different consciousness that people are in.
An assimilation.
And like Preston was saying, like there's people who are like, like being homosexual or transgender or any of these things like that before were like completely, you talk about them, we'll lynch you.
Remove the racist thing from PG. The fact that someone quote me, Preston knows that black people can't own property in PG, is it?
I think it's still in the books.
No, they removed that a few years ago.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, but I mean, it was that way for years. I mean, if you were of any sort of ethnic descent, you could not live, buy property, own a business in, or be around in PG. That applied to a lot of different kinds of people. It just wasn't people of different ethnicities. It was different people of different orientations. It was different people of different lifestyles.
Different income.
Yeah. Basically, you had to be married with kids, and you had to be of very few Caucasian iotas. And even it applied to a lot, even in Carmel Valley. I used to frequent a certain place, and back in the early 1900s, if you were Italian, you weren't getting in. You weren't the right kind of white. And that was pretty recently when I got rid of it. I know members up there that their family weren't allowed to go up there. And it wasn't just like, oh, well, you can't have cabin here. It's like, don't show up at all. You'll get chased out immediately. Yeah, and so, there's still certain areas and sections of that. There's a golf course in Pebble Beach that got a ton of flack, like, years ago when Tiger Woods was the #1 golfer, no question, hands down. And there's a secret golf course in Pebble Beach that's comprised of about 100 members. All 100 members split the cost every year. I think the annual membership fee is like $10 to $15 million.
Really?
And they basically told Tiger Woods, you're not playing here because you're black. And then Tiger Woods said, I'm not going to Pebble Beach ever again. He boycotted Pebble Beach entirely. It was a big deal, and finally it came out, they're like, why? He was like, well, these guys did that. And it was a very well-known issue, and then all of a sudden Pebble Beach did the giant media blitz. They let him on there. They had the news crews out there. It was a misunderstanding. We didn't know you were that Tiger Woods. And it's like...
We didn't know you were that Tiger Woods?
Which Tiger Woods?
Is that what they said? That was the excuse? They played the dumb clause? They didn't know...
The dumb clause.
Oh, the dumb clause.
We didn't know you were that one guy that everybody knows, and there couldn't have been anyone else.
We thought you were a literal tiger.
Yeah. In the woods.
In the woods.
So we can't have that on the field.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Really?
And this is recently too. Yeah, and then they changed it around. But I mean, there's still a lot of odd things going on in the area still.
So there's a big tidal wave. There's a sea change, like you were saying, and I think there's so much that can be for the better. There's so much that can be changed. But I also see that there's going to be a lot of people who are really resistant to any kind of change to the way they've lived, you know? And so I don't know where it's going to go, but I'm excited and I'm also terrified. But I'm just trying to be in the flow and, just being honest with people about how I see things. And I think that if you can't be honest, if you're too afraid to speak, whatever your position is, there's something really fucking wrong about that. And that's not what America is. Whatever you think, you should be able to say it. And we talk about that being true, but like Preston keeps saying, that hasn't always been true. If you said you were some, or if you let on that, I have these mental problems, out. We don't ever want to see you again. If I see you around the family, we're going to report you. You're going to be in a mental institution immediately. No, nowadays they're like, okay, we can get you help. There's all these specialized physicians and people, psychiatrists, and the different fields. We're not just throwing everything in a black bag of the untouchables, or these things can't be talked about. So I think that's a good sea change, but I also think that we need to we're on a cliff, a real steep fucking cliff, and we don't have the best vehicle right now. Everything's pretty shaky, and if we just go hog wild, easily the whole ship could go over. So I'm all for the change, but I'm also for
pump the brakes.
Yeah, pump the brakes and be cool about it, and don't let the fucking drunk ass Uncle fucking Fred or whatever drive the train. Yeah, boy, ride her down, cowboy.
I'll write her down.
Okay, what do you think is likely to happen in what do you think is going to happen in the election? The outcome?
Kanye.
The outcome? What does that mean?
There's no good outcome.
I mean, the outcome is does Trump get re-elected? Let's start with the simple. Does Trump get re-elected or not? I think yes.
I believe he will. I believe he will be, yes.
I think he does 2 terms. There's no way he doesn't.
I believe he will be, and I believe that everyone will hotly contest it.
Yeah.
And then there will be, shortly after they say that he won, they're going to make a recount, and then they're going to say, oh, you didn't actually win. And then he's not gonna step down.
There's going to be another recount. It's going to be 2004 all over
Yeah,
again.
Bush Jr. did that same thing happen, and he still fucking survived it.
Yeah, but I don't think he will actually step down if they do try to say that he loses, and then I think
you think they're going to open ballot? Do you think they're going to have voting stations?
that won't happen.
No, so it's mail-in votes, right?
Well, no, that will happen. I think that, actually, I don't really know about that. I don't know where people's thoughts are about that. I think if they keep pushing the fear about the COVID, I think it's very likely that people will demand. I think there'll be a mix of both. And I think there'll be enough of the mail-in ballots for them to fraudulate that to actually push it over to Biden.
Well, if you did vote-in, the system can only handle so many because it's a computer system. There's 300 million people here or whatever. 380, 320, who knows? There's many millions of people here.
350, I think is.
50, but then there's illegal immigrants. There's probably 20 million of those.
Yeah, and they're allowed to vote, and dead people are allowed to vote, and fucking people's cats are allowed to vote.
The census said.
The census?
Census, right. So there's X amount of millions of people. The computer system can only handle so many users at a time. And they can just say it crashed, and here are the numbers. The numbers can go boop, boop. Remember when SpaceX, and they launched it, and the camera cut out signal?
Oh, hold on, it landed.
It landed, and then the camera cut, and then it's here. Oh, please stand by, or whatever it said. What did it say? No, it said we miss you, or something. We'll kiss you. What did it say? We still love you.
We'll kiss you.
No, we still love you.
Yeah.
Or something. It said something really strange. And everyone just went, look, it landed.
My egg cracked the minute I saw the screen.
The numbers have crashed. And it crashed for 3 days. Oh, we found the number. Here's the number. There's the number. Oh, there was an error in the computer system. The number is, this is the number.
Yeah, I don't trust the computer system anyway. I didn't trust it with Bush and Gore and all that stuff way back then. Because that's when they implemented it, that time.
Fucking email vote. It's going to work.
Yeah, I don't trust the voting system. It's all rigged. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It's who counts the ballots. It's just like fucking who said that? Saddam Hussein or some shit. And
history's written by the victors.
Yeah, exactly. So and like I say, politics is all a fucking lie, and it's all a joke. And people keep believing and they keep trusting in. If they really want to ascend out of it, they need to accept their own power. They need to step their own power. And they need to start, like Preston was talking about last podcast, actually having skills to do things, not depending on the government for every last thing, because that gives them their power. All these people depend on us. All these people do what we say because they worship us. And people do worship government, believe me. The fucking hook, line, and sinker, it's Big Daddy. And they want the fucking, all the goodies.
They want to be Zeus.
Yeah.
They want to stand over the nuclear launch codes, and they want to be able to throw a lightning bolt. They want to be Zeus. They want to sit upon Mount Olympus and control all things and all power. And sit there and say what they want and be as nuts as they want and be orange faced and play golf.
Well, I mean, that is the code word for the White House.
What?
Olympus.
Exactly.
And see, this is the problem. This is the true core of the issue, is that the people who really rule the world really feel that they're gods. They want to be gods, and they will do whatever it takes to achieve it. Through technology, through fucking worship of religion, whatever, because truthfully, those people at the top have always been worshipped as greater than human, because they have stood in a position of power. Whether they're the priesthood, whether they're the royalty, they've been thought of and worshipped and treated as and given things that no other people are. And once you get that kind of power, you don't let it go. You cannot let it go.
And if you look at Greek mythology, you had Zeus, the god of all gods. You had, Poseidon, the god of the sea. Something you say navy, or if you wanted to, and you have Mars, the god of war. I think as the president of the United States, as Trump, as Zeus, as one, you're all things. You control all things. You have the literal effigy, like physical effigy of like whoever it is. Preston, maybe you'll know who controls the military, who controls the army, like general somebody.
President.
The chief of staff, and then
there's
the
always a
president.
guy. There's the guy who sits in the Oval Office. This guy who runs the army. This guy runs the navy. This guy runs the top.
Usually it's a 4-star general.
Yeah.
Right, General something. General something is the living effigy of like Mars, god of war. But the decision is truly with Zeus. But that's the god of war, right? There's all these. It's all written back in stories and mythology. But it's like it's been there for people to learn and read and understand for so long, and it's people just can't catch up with it.
Well,
can't see the
Trump
links.
doesn't really control the whole show. He's just a puppet too. This is the thing. If he said nuke France right now, it wouldn't happen. No matter what fucking evidence, because people control him.
I don't know about that. Yeah. I think they have. I don't know. Who knows?
You really think that they'd let one man control the nuke for the whole show? No way. They have people that are always. There's always someone in the shadow who does whatever Trump says until they say, if he ever crosses this line, you will not do what he says.
But potentially, maybe that's the whole. You get to play devil. That's the point. You get to be Satan. You get to have total control. At the point in
they'd never let a guy who only has
that's not the job.
4 years
that's not the job.
in control.
The job is total control.
No, perception of control.
Perception, fine. Perception of total control. And it's someone who works that, someone who's finagled their way into that position, as Trump has done, wants to know. You want to get in that seat. At the end of the day, they want ultimate power. All they want is power, right? And who knows whatever the letter is written from one president to another, we know about. If there's a book, information is transferred, and information and knowledge is power. And power, whatever that is. And if you don't think for 1 second that they get to genuinely, legitimately hold in their hand a nuclear weapon, I fucking bet you they do. That's the point. So they get to sit with other leaders in the world and say, you know what I hold in my hand. That's my truth, my power. I'll send drone strikes. I'll get on the phone right now, tell them send a drone to this address and bomb this address.
Oh, I'm sure they do
right
that.
now.
But I'm not.
And
I'm saying arbitrarily. Like they have targets that they're allowed to hit and allowed to, fuck with.
No, I
up to a
reckon they
certain
do what
point.
they want. They just know that the job is different and they know the impact, and that's part of the. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. To hold the sword of wielding agendas for people and favours for corporations all over the world and having to cause death and mass murder and having to sweep through and live with the knowledge as Obama or as any other wartime president, the countless amounts of death.
They're
blood is
all
on your
wartime
hands.
presidents. We've been at war constantly. We've never
Right,
stopped.
X amount of blood is on your hands and you have to learn to live with that. And maybe this is the whole occultic sacrificial rituals that you have to go through.
I don't think they have to live with that. I don't think they even have care. I think it's been breeded out of them through learned
Well,
psychopathy.
there you go. That takes you to the main thing that cracked most conspiracies open, which is Bohemian Grove, which is the
sacrifice of care.
with the cremation of care.
Yeah,
which is what you say,
cremation of
cremation,
care.
cremation of
Moloch.
care. Yeah, right. It's called the Lake of Moloch. If you look at Google Maps, it's called the Lake of Moloch. It's in the Mirror Woods.
We have a friend that worked there.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's super crazy, man. Any stories you can share from that?
Just weird shit, just people acting like they're fucking gods and stuff like that, and just, implied racism. All of them are white, just stuff like that. But, yeah, just weirdness. And,
General weirdness.
yeah. But either way...
4 stars.
General weirdness, right. 4 stars.
So, the whole thing of
4-star
control, and, see, the way I see it is that all the governments of the world are controlled through, the Spectre organization. It's the same thing. There's a shadow organization that controls all of them, that has hands on all of them. Even if they don't overtly control them, they have agents, You know, that like controls the head guy of this guy, controls the head of this guy, or they have at worst they have the second in command of the guy who controls everything. Yeah, you should do this.
So at the top, do you think there's a table?
Of course, and there's a table above that. There's a table above that.
Well, the final, well, it goes.
There is no final. It keeps going. That's the point. You know, like there's the people who control.
There's a top to it. There must be.
Why?
It always
Where's the top to the universe?
Yeah, but we're not talking about the universe. We're talking
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
because as above, so below. Everything that's in this room is in the universe that's happening. It's just at a different scale.
Orders to humans come from a source. So
and you think they're only human?
Let me get to the point. What I'm trying to say is, do you think at the very top of the human spectrum, there is a group or there's one person that talks to, let's say, God? Like the Pope claims to talk to God. In terms of the Catholic people, the Italians, the race of people, that whole country, they believe it's the Pope, and he talks to God. And he's the special one that talks to God. So in the Vatican, which is a city upon a city, you better believe that there's no one above the Pope. There's only one person above the Pope, God.
Well, I don't believe he's talking to the God. I believe
that's the message that he did use the mind.
Yeah. I believe he's definitely communing with some fucking force that he considers higher than him.
Yeah, but it's higher because like they're
some spiritual entity force. Like, you know, this whole thing about child murder and all that stuff. There's an actual energy that demons need, and it's blood sacrifice. It's like the willing to sacrifice and to transfer soul energy, life energy from the living plane into the ethereal energetic, pure energetic plane, where they're not allowed to be in the physical plane anymore, but they still need food. They still need mana. And that's what our souls, that's what all that is. And I think that the blood sacrifices that they do is to appease souls, entities that cannot come unless they're invited through embodiment into our plane. And that's what they're doing at the Vatican all the time. They're doing fucking black magic, their soul magic, and they have just sold their soul over time because they know that the spirit exists. They know all that exists, but they have been absorbed and consumed by power and lust and greed. If you look at the Vatican, you see how lush and insane it is. You cannot be in that space for very long. Like a true monk and stuff, he lives in a plain ass fucking place. He cuts his hair. He doesn't wear all these fancy robes and all this fucking regalia, and doesn't have all these crown jewels that are worth fucking trillions of dollars. He doesn't feed into any of that because he's away from the physical plane. He's in and out, and he's one with God, one with the force. But these people, they're sick, they're twisted, and from all my learnings, all my teachings, or all the things that I've learned from these teachings, the people at the Vatican, there's 3 centers of power. There's London, there's the Vatican, and there's Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. They're the 3 cities.
The money, the religion, and the arms.
Exactly.
Military.
The 3 arms. And it's the unholy trinity. Yeah. And so they have, whether they all fucking agree with each other completely or not doesn't really matter. They work together for their primary goals.
And they're all cities within the cities that have their own rules, their
own
police
force, their own laws.
Everything,
yeah. So look into it if you don't know about it, but knowing these things and not just being like, oh, no, none of these things could exist. There couldn't be. See, this is what blows my mind is that people think that, too many people would have to be involved. Well, it's like, how many people are involved in our American culture? How many people are gung-ho for the military? How many people are, and for any country across the world, how many people are willing to die, throw themselves on a grenade for what they believe in? And how hard would it really be to say, listen, we really actually control all these people. You work for us, you're with the real big daddies. We don't really give you money. We give you a credit card with unlimited funds, as long as you do what we say. And by the way, here's this injection. If you ever actually betray us, you'll be dead in moments. And you have to keep getting this injection every other week for the rest of your life. Or there's all kinds of different control mechanisms if you weren't born into the cult. But if you're born into the cult, you don't even have a conception of betraying it because you realize
you don't know
this guy just quit. He's with the queen, he's with all his presidents. Obviously, they're in complete power. I'd be a fool to betray them. And why would I betray them? For what? For these fucking slaves out here?
You're a product of your environment.
Yeah.
You're a product of your environment.
So
absolutely.
But again, Hollywood sells this idea that it's impossible, that it could never happen.
Because they don't want the truth to come out, because people can't. They think too much rides on it. There's too much dark secrets, too much money, too many people. The people who control things, way of life exists because of secrets, and they don't want these secrets to come out because they don't want their ways of life to end, and these things are happening. And slowly the bricks seem to be coming down. Towers of
and they change our perception of language, like a cult. If I say cult, the immediate thing that you think of is blood sacrifices, guys in black robes killing people, doing fucking crazy shit, right? Most people, if I say a cult, or but what it really means is the hidden. So hidden things. And if I say anarchy, most people would say immediately chaos. But what it really means is without masters. Anarchy, without archons. And without masters, without slaves. It means freedom. It means equality. But instead you've been trained to believe that it means chaos. Because they can't have you associating no masters, no slaves in your mind with anarchy.
Blame the Sex Pistols for that one.
Yeah, exactly. And Sex Pistols, the
You
police,
can
all
blame
these
the
bands of the 70s,
police,
60s.
Hang on a minute, the police.
His family was into the CIA operations.
Oh, I went straight London punk, anti-establishment, smashing shit up. Dr. Martin boots, changing the Ramones would have been the way I would have gone with that. I wouldn't have gone the police.
What do you mean? I'm talking about people that.
Oh,
it's
I'm
like
sorry. I think with the band, bro. The police.
I was talking about the band.
Oh, not the police. I didn't put that in the same sort of awakening for anarchy.
No, they're not an awakening. I'm saying that these are
okay.
controlled groups. Like they were released through
see what you're saying.
secret organizations
right.
where they wanted to
You're
put
gonna go
out
into,
these messages.
You're gonna go into like Groom Lake with the Doors and like
Yeah, exactly.
And you're going to that one.
Exactly.
You're going to CIA ops and like we're gonna control the mind of the people through acid and music and we're gonna change the way people think through this. Yeah, well that's I subscribe to that. I subscribe to the social engineering. I mean, people talk about that, but in reality, we're pushing people toward direction. Okay, this technology has been released. Let's just distill everything down. How are people gonna take the electric guitar? They're gonna do this. Listen to this blues riff. How does it affect people's psychology? They're dancing, they're boogie woogieing. People are feeling more free.
The boogie woogie.
Boogie woogieing, yeah.
That's a throwback.
Forget that. We can go back even farther. We can go farther.
Beethoven.
I just went very
They
English.
played music
Yeah,
that
'cause
they
bring
knew
up
would
Second
change the
World War.
brainwaves.
I was going to bring up the Second World War, and all of a sudden my brain went very English and very. I say we can go further back to the Boogie Woogie Boogle Boys of Company B. The three sisters, the Andrews sisters. The Boogie Woogie Boogie. That people were fucking hooked on that stuff. You listen to that, the Boogie Woogie Boogie Boys of Company B. That's true.
And then people would be like, devil music.
Devil music.
Don't you
I want the company.
That's devil
the
music.
funky rhythm. And you listen to this stuff.
Was April here?
You're like, oh my god, what is this free flowing amazing music? But they've let the people have that. Because it makes them feel free. It makes them feel awake. It's all moving towards an awakening. I feel like it's got to, when we got to like, I don't know, Victorian-ish kind of era, they realised this is nuts. We need to give people the same qualities that we have. It's just mud living in shit, and we can't progress, and it's medieval. People are killing each other with swords and stabbing people with this dragon, and just stabbing people with murder and living in pig shit and disease and famine and fucking Phylloxera destroying things in France and then cholera and just bad. And they realised, you know what, like, if we just let people have a little bit of freedom, a little bit of awakening, a bit more, we can kind of build a society. We can make more money and they can work harder for us and they can have better accommodation. Things can be better for everyone around if we give it a bit more of what the good stuff that we have, the good life, to everybody else. It trickles down. You have to trickle things into humans because en masse, to control them, you have to bleed.
Trickle down.
This is, hold on.
Trickle. You have
So
to
you're
bleed
saying
things.
that monarchs
information.
and aristocrats were like, you know what, let's hook up these plebes?
I know, I just think they understood that times were changing and they had to adhere and
They were
cater.
literally getting killed in most
Yeah,
cases.
but things changed. Things changed.
Because they were killed.
Advances in technology and things changed.
I mean, look at the French Revolution. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about this aristocratic, basically, death. I mean, not like a metaphorical death.
But it reached a point where the system reacted to itself and it had to change and it had to evolve.
Because these guys aren't left anymore. Like the guys that used to run shit that had all the money, they're
Some
gone.
of them, maybe some of the
some of
French,
them were.
most of them got out. Believe you and me, most of the French
A lot of
aristocrats.
them, yeah, dude. A lot of people survived. A lot of those families and their
But
money
none of those
survived.
aristocrats were like, man, let's hook up these plebes with some art.
With the same,
None of them.
Oh, I didn't say art. I mean,
Anything.
As humanity evolved, living conditions evolved, and things evolved to a slightly. Okay, it's not amazing right now. And a lot of people complain about the way things are right now. But you know what? Being like, look, I'm not trying to. I can't talk on being homeless like that. That level of depth. But if you look, there's a lot of homeless here in California. Massive amount of homeless. Being homeless is. I can't even imagine. I mean, I've lived without a home for a while, but not homeless. It's a very different story. I've travelled and lived without a home for many months and couch surfed and whatever. But it's very different to being having
Very
no
different.
home, no
You had
address.
means.
Right. Exactly.
You had friends.
Exactly. Existing in that now in society is, I would assume, possibly a lot easier to deal with than doing it in fucking medieval times.
Everything is easier now.
Right.
We're the kings of the world right now.
Right. Exactly. There's just levels to it, but things have evolved to a place where scales have tipped, balances have tipped. They're still not completely level, but things have tipped, and in order for look, people with money and smart people and people in control and power, they have to sit down eventually and realize what's the goal of everything.
No, I agree with you saying. They let things out. They needed to let people know shit because we agree that they needed new inventions for their own benefit as well.
And then the next stage we're at now, as I've been talking about, is they plug it into the matrix, or we stay in our homes so we can reduce carbon emissions and global warming, all these things. But we're clearly moving towards something. I think they're being slower than need to now. I think people are getting smarter and waking up to it quicker than the speed they're willing to work at.
Which means there could be
civil unrest.
More civil unrest, more violence, more calling.
We're moving quicker than they want to. I think we're moving quicker than they want to, and it's causing civil unrest, and we're shaking that. And
let's just kill them again. I mean, it worked last time.
But
let's do it again.
I agree.
Aliens too. Fuck it.
Aliens. The reset button.
I mean, they've already been here, so it's going to be Aliens Part 2.
Fine, they've made like 4 Aliens movies.
I think this is a great place to stop, gentlemen. Thank you so much. And any last words?
Nope.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie. Such is life.
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Until it's not.